What's up, nerds? Welcome to NGR Radio, episode 48. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, the man who seems to have misplaced his glasses for the fourth week in a row. What is the deal here? Are you just not wearing them anymore? Or are you just I don't know.
I gotta keep you guessing.
He's got to keep you on your toes, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Anyways, joining us, do we want to make that announcement today, Matt?
I don't know. That's up to you. That's up to Moose, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
We are...
Sound less convincing, please.
Sure!
No, you didn't hear me. I said less convincing.
We have a 99% sure third chance.
Hang on. It's partly cloudy with a chance of moose.
That's right.
Cool. Moose, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm alive. I'm getting there. And rounding out the fourth spot on this week's NGR Radio,
the physics-based fourth spot.
Yeah. Of World 1-1, Optional Opinion, Nintendo Power Block, and probably 9,000 other places on the internet.
The Moment. Skirmish
The
Frogs.
Moment. Edward Varnell. That's just going to be his nickname now. The Moment.
Edward the Moment Varnell. So,
Hello.
That's got a nice ring to it. That's got a nice ring to it.
I like it. In fact, I'm kind of jealous.
Why? Why are you jealous?
I want a cool nickname. I've never had a cool nickname. My nicknames were
HD.
That's not a nickname. That's a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, that's
channel.
true.
Yeah, and you're definitely not one of those.
You never had anybody give you a nickname?
I don't really classify dork or fat as nicknames. I'm just
No. Those are definitely not. But all right, okay.
but no.
God. Oh, man. How am I supposed to unpack this, Corey?
Is that?
I don't know. I just work here.
Commander Corey, the new age hero of time.
Yeah,
We got to incorporate Orsorios in there somewhere.
Yeah, I guess, but still, it's just like, I don't know. I don't have a nickname. I'd probably be a lot cooler if I did, though, right? That's how that works. If you have
I
a
don't
nickname,
know.
you're cool.
Do I have a nickname? I don't even know.
Shaniqua.
Yeah, but I gave myself that name.
Well, that's how the world knows you now, so you're stuck with it.
That's fair.
It usually has to be a name that somebody else gave you.
Yeah.
But it's stuck, so, I mean...
Yeah. Yours is like a different type of situation. So, I mean, that's understandable.
If it makes you feel any better, I was given a nickname in high school. The name was Taco. You know why I was given that name?
Because you love tacos.
No.
All I can think of is, like, you being that character in the league.
No, I wish I was that cool. No,
Taco's awesome.
No, it was some. He is awesome, but it was something that actually prompted a lot of anxiety and self-consciousness in myself, to the point where I actually went and sought medical attention about this. But I was given the nickname Taco because there was one moment in 8th grade social studies where I passed gas. And I passed gas so bad.
What?
So bad that the instructor sent me to the principal's office.
Wow.
He thought he's like, there's no way that is human. Get the stink bomb, go to the principal's office.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't have anything. And
See,
I thought
stuff you in a Taco Bell closet or something.
No, I
No, he loves Taco Bell. He's not in a closet with Taco Bell.
No, I am out there, and I'm loving every minute of it with Taco Bell.
I'm thinking like they like it.
So I go to the principal's office and go ahead, Ed. Go ahead, Ed.
I was just gonna say they stuff you in the first drive-through section because at Taco Bell they never used the first drive-through. They always used the second, take your money and give you your tacos.
Oh yeah.
And the first one is just like used as the storage.
Yeah. What is that about? McDonald's does the same thing around here.
But so I get to the principal's office. He's like, so wait. He looks at me and goes, so why is Mr. Fontana sending you here? I'm like, he thinks I have a stink bomb. He's like, well, do you? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, what happened? I go, I farted. And it distracted him so much that he felt the need. He felt that I had to be punished. And he said, well, did you fart? I'm like, yeah, I claim that. Of course I did. I'm a 14-year-old kid. Of course I'm going to claim my fart.
I love how the principal asked you the same question that you just answered.
Mm-hmm.
You just told him that you farted. He's like, did you fart? No, I did.
No. I mean, Ed, white people. Am I right?
True.
So, and I'm there, and I get back to class, and everyone's laughing, having a good old time at my expense. And looking back on this is real dumb, but when you're in junior high and experience that, it does a little something to you. You feel a bit, you feel some type of way. But anyway, when I played basketball at practice, the team would try and pick fights with me because they didn't want me on the team because I farted. I'm like, why are you guys picking me on this? Hell, feed me the right thing before a game. This could be a tactic.
I mean, fear that you. See,
true.
this is how you kick people off the basketball team. How about your grades be an 8-point average so that you actually graduate?
Yeah, well, this was junior high. None of that fucking mattered. Everybody made the team. We're suburban Iowa, for God's sake. We're not going to cut anybody.
Y'all had a class of 100?
No. We had classes that outnumber here in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I graduated with a class of 690.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Does that include the corn? All that children.
Oh.
Good.
That was good. That was good.
Ed, that one hurts, Ed. That one hurt. I don't know why from you that hurts. That you cut me deep. Corey or Moose could have said that. Any other Michigas could have said that. I would have been like, I would have rolled off, but not you, Ed.
It's Ohio. 690
No, it's
people.
not. It's Iowa.
Oh, Iowa.
Corey's in Ohio. You're getting us mixed
But you
up.
can't tell the difference. They both Ohio and Iowa is both country. No disrespect, Corey. But y'all cities, y'all cities are country.
Whoa. Ohio is not country. Ohio is not country.
No, Ohio is just forest. I used to live there. It's forest and hills. Trust me.
That's why we call it country. From the black man's perspective, if you don't have more than 15 buildings and 20 businesses, you're country.
I grew up in Des Moines. It's the
And
one
Walmart-
city in Iowa.
And Walmart does not count because that's 5 places in one.
No. I'm okay. My blood pressure.
What is happening to the show?
We're going rogue.
Isn't that what we do? But no, that's sort of that's a window into my junior high experience. And trust me, the memory of kids at that age was not short. I lived with that till I graduated, and many loved to remind me it was annoying.
Did you have 3 schools you had to go to? Like elementary?
Elementary is K through 6, 7 and 8 is junior, and then 9 through 12 is high school.
That's how they rocked it in the Northeast. Pennsylvania,
A couple of years they just switched that into our school system because our elementary went from K to 8 and then after 8th grade, you went straight to high school. We didn't have no middle school at all.
My senior year, the high school I went to, Valley in West Des Moines.
Back in the day.
When I was young, I'm not a kid. Oh wait, no, that's something different. But they opened a freshman school. So a school just for the freshmen. As if freshmen don't feel weird enough. They are sequestered.
No, they're like quarantined.
Yeah, they're sequestered.
It's really more of a quarantine.
They're sequestered miles away where they can't really get that assimilation. And you know, my sister and I were pissed because we were actually looking forward to sort of going to school together again. But when I was a senior, she was a freshman, and she was at the freshman school and fucking hated it. And yeah, high school sucks. So does middle school. In fact, school sucks until you're like in college. College is cool.
I love high school because I got to go to Canada and Florida. And my senior year, if I really wanted to go to school, I could have went to school for an hour and a half and then came home my whole senior year.
That's what I did my senior year. I went to school for gym and then left. It was great.
Dang.
They're like, why do you come for gym? I'm like, I like gym.
Gym's cool.
I like gym. I see a lot of kids who try anything and everything to get out of it. I'm like, what's wrong with gym? It's like the easiest A. You don't even need to be athletic. You just need to try.
Is that even that? All you need to do is just change into the school's uniform, gym, and you pass.
Boom.
Well, that was a story. I guess I could tell my nickname story then, since you just told yours. I did have a nickname in high school, but I hated it.
What was your name in high school, Corey?
My nickname in high school was Big Sedge.
Big Sedge.
Big Sedge.
Yeah.
It sounds like the worst rap name ever.
Yeah, well,
He was a rapper.
I was.
That explains the backwards hat, right? Right.
This is the secret life I lived before I started podcasting. That's why I don't talk about music when you bring it up.
Oh, okay. Too many painful memories.
It hurts. It hurts his soul. It hurts his soul.
He was making too many mixtapes, Corey.
Oh man.
Yeah, too many mixtapes.
Big Sedge lit up Dat Piff in the 90s. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I hated that nickname so much. I got it in like 6th grade when I was like, it was the first time I was playing sports, and it was the first time I was actually like trying to like work out and be good at something. And like one of my mom's friends was a personal trainer, and he trained kids for sports, like middle school, high school kids for sports. And I started there. And there's a couple of kids that I went to school with, and they gave me that nickname. And then like I was like, because you know they originally said they gave me a nickname because there was 2 Corys there, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then like they would just like make fun of me and stuff when I wasn't in the room, and I like heard them make fun of me and stuff. And then one of the kids that was there started calling me that at school. And then everybody in the school started calling me that. And I kept telling people to stop calling me that. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing until I just like stopped telling people like to stop calling me that. And it was like, it was to make fun of me because I was like fat and stuff. It's like that word is like a plant that big animals eat.
Okay.
Like rhinoceros or hippos or elephants eat these plants, and that's what makes them so big, because they eat a lot of these plants. And so that stuck until like senior year. And then finally, like halfway through my senior year, I forget who it was. It was like a teacher or something. Even the teachers and stuff were calling me that. It was just like this weird thing that just happened.
But you know what? I would have took that name and be like, "That's my trucker name." Like, literally,
Well,
literally,
after like
as a trucker name.
after like 9th grade, I just kind of like owned it because that's just, I mean, nobody was going to stop calling me that. So I just,
But see, y'all, you guys say y'all nicknames are good to go. My nickname is like replaced my original name because in the black family, when your mom calls you by your original name, you were in trouble for something that you did not do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I go by Eddie. I go by Fast Eddie. I go by Eddie Spaghetti. I go by Eddie.
Hey, that's too many names.
God, you're your own personal Wu-Tang Clan. What the hell?
That ended up doing it. And she wouldn't even apologize to me. So I got a whooping for something that he did that she actually found out the truth. I'm like, your husband lied to you. And I'm getting punished.
Can I ask you a question? Were you the last kid in the household?
Yes, I am.
My younger brother is in the same situation, and my dad used to blame shit on him all the time. And he moved out with his girlfriend and eventually got married. And now my dad has no one to blame shit on. He's like, wait, what just happened? And my mom's like, you can't do that anymore. And he's like, so now I know it was you, and all those times I yelled at Dustin, it was not him.
This was the crazy part. One time I got yelled at for something that my dad did, and my mom was just like, no, you did it. I'm like, how am I gonna do it? And I'm at choir rehearsal with you. I'm at choir rehearsal with you, and this just happened. How did I end up doing it? Because guess what? I was out your car before you came out the car, and you already said that none of this stuff happened in the bathroom. So if we had choir rehearsal, somehow my soul must have got connected with the devil to come back in our house, do some mess, and then jump back to the church. That don't make no sense.
I mean, logically, it checks out, though.
Women logic, yes.
Yes.
But,
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just like, what in the world? So Edward, when Edward comes out her mouth, I'm just like, I know I'm in trouble. But she calls Eddie, it becomes questionable. But and I hear Eddie and she says it in a nice tone, I'd be like, okay, I'm good.
She wants something.
See,
Yes.
with my mom, it was first, middle, and last name. You knew you were in trouble.
Oh yeah.
If I was upstairs hanging out in my room and I heard Brian Lee Clewell, I'd be like, oh shit, can I jump out the window? And my room was on the second floor.
Yeah, well, yeah. A couple of times I got the Matthew James and I'm like, I can make this. But no, I'm kind of with you, Corey. I'm sorry, Ed. I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead.
But like the minute a teacher calls you the nickname you don't like, that was the one time I actually like deserved to get sent to the principal's office because I actually said no. I'm fucking sick of this. I hate this name. I hate that you guys do this to me, and I hate that. And it was the guy that sent me to the principal's office. You sent me to the principal's office for some shit that I medically cannot control. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to the principal's office. And then I gave him the bird, gave everybody in the class a bird, and left. Yeah. And then I came back and the next class had started by the time I had gotten back. And the person who was in my seat actually left all my stuff where it was. Like my bag was on the desk and everything. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I didn't want you to think that I was messing with it. I'm like, I don't care if you did. I'm like, I don't really care if you did, but
yeah,
can I have my stuff so I can go to my next class and get yelled at there for being late? Okay, so Moose, how'd you get your name?
8th grade. So in 8th grade, there was a guy who we used to hang out with in our classes, and he just started calling me Moose. And he started calling me it because he thought moose were big, dumb, stupid animals. And I was rather large at the time. And I was loud. Like, I am really loud. Like, the volume control is, like, broken.
Yeah,
I like to think
me. You have none. You have none. I've hung out with you.
I like to think that I've gone past the stupid part, but anyway, so it was a nickname that was only used. I only allowed people that I was really good friends with to use. And then I think like a year or two ago, I changed it on Facebook because I just wanted to like embody it. I just want to be like, this is who I am. So anyways, that's how I got the nickname. It was like, it's been like 8th grade, high school. I've got a friend of mine. So we did tennis lessons when we were like freaking 10 or 11. And then I met up with him in junior high because we did the same thing you did. We had like, we had the middle schools, we had the junior high, which was like 7th through 8th. And then 9th through 12th was like high school. So like I met back up with him. He, to this day, I do not know, like he has never ever referred to me as Brian. It's always been Moose. Like even like, the only time that I know of he had to tell his mom, oh, that's Brian. He would be talking about me and then have to be like, oh, I mean Brian, and so it's just really weird to me. I have a female friend who just calls me Moose like all the time, and I'm fine with it. It's like, whatever, that's how she knows me, because we had 3 Brians in our group that we hung out with. And so they had to differentiate us. So it just kind of stuck. Like when that dude gave me the nickname, it just stuck. And so that's how they differentiated us. But I love it. I like the nickname. My wife collects mooses. So, I mean, it works. She collected a live moose. So it works.
You should always just hold the chocolate bar when people give you moose. And have everybody just like, yeah, baby, I'm chocolate moose. I'm sweet, smooth, and I'm good for your body. Yeah.
I like that. That works for me.
I know exactly what your birthday gift is going to be, Moose. Next time it comes around.
Awesome.
It better not be a booby.
It's gonna be a bottle of. It's gonna be a bottle of Moose for your hair.
Which I have like next to Nono.
Yeah, you got it all cut.
I had an interview, so I had to get it cut. So.
Yeah, I know how that rolls.
Yeah.
So we've gotten a bit personal already. What do you say we lighten things up and talk about religion? No, I'm kidding.
You don't want me talking about religion.
I'm pretty sure we'll get 4 distinct perspectives on it. However, we are what, less than a week from E3. EA's conference is Saturday.
It's this weekend, bro. It's this weekend.
Yeah. So yes.
Well, by the time this episode airs, it's going on right now.
So E3 just happened, and we're so far behind.
What do you think about that sweet new awesome Xbox?
EA, am I right? EA, they're freaking killing it.
Sony with that Switch killer.
Yeah, right?
Man, that Xbox Scorpio, which is actually named Swizzled shit. I don't know.
Xbox Swizzle Stick? I don't know.
Wow.
But what about Bethesda announcing Fallout Shelter 2?
Doom 2 and 3 at the same time.
And then
Switch.
Elder Scrolls 7 coming to the Switch only?
Switch exclusive.
Who saw that happening?
Listen, I bet you Bethesda goes the route of Capcom and it's like, yeah, we'll put Doom on your fucking Switch. We'll put Doom 1 and Doom 2 on there.
But like as good as Doom from last year was, I mean, Doom 1 and 2 are still kind of the best.
It couldn't run Doom from last year if it freaking tried.
No, but it could run Doom 1 and 2, and I'd be okay with it.
Saying.
Right?
Like, they're going to go the Capcom route of being like, here's Street Fighter 2 from like freaking 15, 20 years ago. Well, 25. Here's Doom 1 and 2, so here you go, guys.
Don't even get me started on that Capcom thing. Did you, I know it was like mistranslated and stuff, and that's like been debunked now, but like when that translation first came out that said all future projects on Switch were going to be determined by how well Street Fighter 2 sells on the Switch.
That's dumb.
I was like, that's so stupid. And then Ed cleared the the air for me. So thanks,
I'll
Ed.
say this. You know what would fuck me up? I'm gonna tell you what would fuck me up right now. Diablo 2 gets a console port and it's a Switch exclusive. I would be pissed.
No,
it won't happen. It won't happen because I'm not retarded.
They wouldn't do it.
But like that.
Well, they're not retarded either.
Right.
That would sell like 4 copies. I mean,
I don't know. A lot of people like Diablo 2.
Yeah, but not the people that are on Switch.
That's true.
Well, people on Switch would play Diablo 2 and be like, "What is that?"
The only thing people on Switch are concerned about is like all Nintendo games.
That and like, there are those people on Twitter who are like, "Oh, this isn't coming to Switch. You lost a sale."
Fallout. Well, oh god, what was that game that they announced? And it was Need for Speed. And the dude was like, "Oh, Need for Speed isn't coming to Switch. Well, you lost a sale." Motherfucker, the thing processes at 1/3 of the power of the Xbox. Do you think it's really going to run on Switch? Like, what crack are you smoking?
But this is the thing. Need for Speed don't even sell no more. Most Wanted didn't sell. That last version that came out didn't sell crap. So
it's because it was garbage.
Well, no, I think Most Wanted was the last one that actually sold. After that, it was like The Run and Rivals and none of those sold.
Yeah, I think. Did you see it? Did you see it came out today that the FIFA 18? Did you see that FIFA 18 is based off the 360 and PS3 version, and it's going to be missing a lot of features on Switch?
Makes sense.
Makes sense. I'd like to say that Matt Phillips called that. So he was saying that was the rumor, and he's like, "That's what it's going to be. That's what Skyrim's going to be. The Skyrim that's going to play on the Switch is going to be the 360 version. That's all it's going to be."
The rumor is that Skyrim is going to be ported to mobile devices, and this is like the iPhone port of Skyrim.
Wow.
And like, because on like iPads and iPhones are going to be able to use like Bluetooth controllers at some point real soon with like iOS 11, and they're going to launch it with Skyrim.
No,
but I don't think Skyrim would even sell on Switch because then nobody even buy the remaster, and then the remaster still have bugs.
They've already owned it. They own it on PS3. They own it on 360. Or they're like me. I sold my 360 to buy a PS4, and then the remaster came out, and I picked up Skyrim because I love that game. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me. It's got a special place in my heart. But anyway,
it has a place on your arm.
Yeah, it has a place on my arm. So, anyways, I don't think it would sell on Switch because whoever was going to buy it has already bought it, or they'll look at the prices and be like, "I can buy this on a console I already own and just buy it there," and that's what they'll do.
I agree.
Because you know Bethesda's going to put it out for like $40, $50. They have to.
You know, I think, like I always been saying, I think West third party really are not going to support Switch, and that's fine because Japan and India are about to make money off of Switch. Their third party, West third party, is still placing their bets on PS4 to sell them the copies. Well, that's a shame that you got 50+ million systems and you're still only selling 750,000 or maybe 1 million, and that's split on 2 different consoles. So that console, you still didn't recuperate any money from it. So are playing Switch.
So you're saying Switch is going to become the next Vita?
With first party support.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Actually,
but
just because they don't have anything else to fall back on right now.
What do you think that says about a Nintendo game?
A Nintendo game has more value than PS4 and Xbox One, because the thing about it is, if I still walk up into the store and I want Kirby for Wii, I'm still paying about $45 for that game.
Now, could that be specifically Kirby for the Wii? If we're talking about the Wii, that came out late in the Wii's life cycle. A lot of people didn't buy it.
But if they didn't buy it, the price would still be able to go down. If I could still walk into the store and still paying $60 or $70 for Xenoblade Chronicles for Wii, but yet I could walk into the store and Gears of War 4 is $15 some, that's a problem. That literally is a problem.
Why is it a problem?
Because the thing about it is, a game that's as big budget as Gears of War, that there should be no way that I walk into a GameStop and an old Wii game from Nintendo is more than not even a year and a half or 2 years? No, not even 2 years. Like a year.
But do you know why? But do you know why those used
you got a game
copies?
that
Do you know why those used copies are less expensive? Because I can tell you why.
No.
Because we could talk about the Wii's attach rate, but most people only played 2 or 3 games on it. So not everybody bought every first-party Nintendo game that came out. Whereas with Microsoft, a crap ton of those people bought Gears of War. So, and because of the tendency in our community to play games, beat them, and return them, more copies get returned.
But then that's
because I'll be honest with you, I bought Kirby's Epic Yarn, played it that night, returned it the next day, got like a ton of money back because that game sucked.
But this is the problem. When you got 2 of the most powerful consoles, I'm not including PC consoles, than a Nintendo system. Why is there more copies of that powerful system game that's supposed to do all of this stuff that you marketed to us as players? Why is it turned back? Why is it traded in?
Because people buy more on that more powerful console. They finish it and then they return it back. Not a lot of people are going to be buying it on the Switch. They're going to buy it on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One and say, all right, I'm done with this game and I'm going to return it back. They're not. People who buy it on the Switch are more than likely going to keep it. That's why when you go to GameStop and you see it on the wall and you go, wow, there's a lot of returns on the Xbox wall. There's a lot of returns on the PlayStation 4 wall. It's because of, I don't know, the install base. Like there's a larger install base for people to be buying those. So when I was in college, I dated a girl who drove a Ford Explorer and she wrecked it on the highway on 40 going home to Wilmington from the college we went to. And she said, my car got totaled and was delivered to the junkyard, there were a crap ton of Ford Explorers there. I will never own a Ford Explorer again. It's like, well, because Ford Explorer was selling really great at the time. There was a lot of people that had a Ford Explorer. So if there's going to be an accident, the vast majority of people in the accident are going to be Ford Explorer drivers, you know? So,
but did you find it? But do you find it weird that with Xbox and with PlayStation, that they do all this marketing for the best games, best graphics, and you would expect that people would have a big library and there would be games that people would buy and keep?
This is my thing, and this is my 2 cents about it. I got a buddy of mine, Matt knows him too, Gideon. He goes to GameStop and he buys the game. As long as the game is a quick play, he could play it in 7 days for their return policy. He will buy the game, go home, platinum it, or beat it, depending on how he feels about the platinum. And then he'll go back and he'll return it and get almost the same exact money that he paid for it in return and go do and repeat the cycle. Just keep repeating the cycle.
So do you think games on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are no value? They have no worth?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a person who's trying to be a thrifty gamer and he's trying to game a system. He's trying to exploit that system. He's not saying that those games don't have any worth. He's not saying that in his experience, he redboxed Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay. I bought, we bought it outright. It was bought, played it to death. Okay. Platinumed it, loved it.
I haven't played my PS4 in a while, but I'll still go back to that game. That game's fun.
He had to basically outright buy it from Redbox because he had it out for so long. He just told him he lost the disc and he had to pay for the game. Whereas if he goes to GameStop He could take out Injustice 2, play the hell out of that game for a week, beat it, and return it and get the same amount of money from GameStop back that he put into it to go to the next game.
So how does he feel? I was just saying, how does he feel about having a video game library? If he's using that system,
he
doesn't need one.
He doesn't need one. He has a lot of digital games. He does a lot of digital, so he does digital and not a lot of physical anymore because of his lifestyle currently. But I understand what you're saying, having a video game library. But when you look at it and you say, "Okay, this is my spending amount for the year," well, I can maximize it by just returning games left and right. I mean, you look at DVDs. Okay, in my 20s, I'm 38 now. In my 20s, I collected DVDs like a fiend.
Mm-hmm.
I would go see a movie, I would buy the DVD the day it came out. Now, I don't ever buy a DVD. I don't need to buy a DVD because I see a movie once and I'm done. If you look at the statistics, I'm sure they're out there, the amount of times a person goes back to a game, just a game in general, is 0 to none. The only reason they go back to a game is because A, nostalgia, or B, it has a certain attachment to them. For me, like Skyrim, I will always go back to Skyrim because that was the game I played while I was going through my divorce, and I love that game. I love Skyrim to death. So I will always kind of go back to it. But are you like, some people are just not going to play, even though Horizon Zero Dawn is a tremendous game and everybody needs to play that game, they're not going to go back to it after they play it and platinum it, you know? So.
But that's true. But that's why I feel like with Xbox One and PS4, and even like 360 or PS3, like once those games start becoming used games, a lot of people buy that system for those used games instead of like me. I would buy a used Atlas game because Atlas at a point in time were limiting their games at certain stores. And if I go to that store to buy it, it's gone. So the next time that I see it, someone has to turn it in because like digital wasn't around. And they wasn't putting their games on like a digital platform. Now I could be like, okay, Persona 5 is out. It came to this place. I could now go out and get it because even though Persona 5 is big at some places, in my city, it's not big. So I'm able to go get me a fresh copy, you know.
Right. No, I understand that. And that's a great way to look at it too. I just feel like a lot of the gamers out there are thrift shop gamers or who are trying to get things on a deal. And I even buy stuff. I'm like, I want that game, but I'm not going to buy it until it's at least like, okay, case in point, Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not buying that game until it's 50% off or more, which will happen this holiday season because that game tanked. They freaking split up the development studio and put them somewhere else. That game will be, I mark my words, I guarantee Mass Effect Andromeda will be 50, if not more than that, % off during the holiday season.
The digital deluxe version on Xbox One was just like $41.99 like a few weeks ago. Right. And I actually questioned, like, do I get it now or do I wait? And I was just like, you know what? Let me get it now.
If you want shitty frame rates and a crappy resolution, sure.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. Look. It's on my system. I haven't even started yet. I'll get to it when I can get to it.
I know. Like people try and talk up like I still don't think the Xbox is equal in any way, shape, or form to the PlayStation 4 as far as power. So if you're gonna play anything, I would obviously buy it there. But so I'm waiting for a sale there, and so Microsoft probably stepped in and said, "Hey, EA, like, let's discount this game and we'll kind of eat some of the costs too," you know, and so that's what happened there.
Well, I was telling people that I'm like, I'd rather game on Xbox One at its before PS4 because of the external hard drive. I didn't have to do all that hardware crap with the PS4. With the Xbox One, like I had to do with the PS4. And I'm good. That's like up to 8 terabytes on Xbox One to compare to, I think it's 2 terabytes on PS4.
Now, I believe it's up to 8 now. No, they've increased the external hard drive is now, the update has now increased it. So,
was it 4.07 or something for
firmware? Firmware?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes. So it is up to, it can't be lower than 2, and I think it can't be greater than 8, and it has to be USB 3.0. So I think it's exactly like the Xbox One.
Xbox One.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah. I've replaced my internal hard drive, so it's not really an issue for me. So
yeah, and that was the at one point that was the reason why I was getting Xbox One. I'm like, if there was a sale going on, I'll get it. If it's not available for PS4, I'll get it for Xbox One. But if I know that I got space on my Xbox One compared to my PS4 when they didn't have the external hard drive, I bought it for Xbox One and beat it on there. I wasn't worried about online and stuff like that. It was just like I'd rather know that if I need to save a game and do an update, I'd rather have all that information on my Xbox One because I have the space for it. Compared to at PS4, I had to keep taking games down and off because they didn't do no external hard drive. That was my thing with it.
That's understandable. Personally with my PS4, I reached a point where I was like, I need more than 500 gigabytes, so I bought a 2 terabyte drive. And now I delete things. Like, so for example, I pre-ordered Wipeout Omega, and I went to download it today because it drops at midnight tonight, and you goddamn right I'm going to play that at midnight tonight. I had to delete some stuff to put it on there, but I have almost 2 terabytes worth of games on my hard drive, and I'm like, really, how many of those are you playing? Like really, like I understand what you're talking about when you have the plight where you're like, I have to delete stuff to get it off there. But it's like, if you look at the games that you have on your hard drive, what are you playing of these? And I will admit, I have a lot of high gigabyte games on my hard drive that I'm like, I'll get to it. Like that's the quote. I'll get to it. I'll play that. I'm going to get to that. But if I had to say it, if I had to be honest, if I had to cut everything out of my hard drive and just keep a couple games, it would be my Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, and Titanfall 2, and that would be it. I'd get rid of everything else and download stuff. So.
Titanfall 2 storyline was so good. Oh, that I
it's still think good.
I think that's
what do you think of the Monarch? Have you played with the Monarch yet?
No, you know what? I haven't did the online portion of Titanfall 2.
Oh, you have to, man! It's so good.
Titanfall is so much fun. It is so much fun.
So here's the thing: like, if we did a "What are you playing now?" section, I would say only Titanfall 2. I played it all day yesterday because they're running double experience. So I'm changing out the type of pilot I'm running. I'm changing out the main gun, the alternate gun, the kind of Titan I'm running. Like, it's just insane how much I've been playing Titanfall lately and the amount of work that they put into it. And my main Titan is Tone. And so I bought, they put out... Look? Yes, Tone Look. So they put out a Prime skin for Tone, and I was like, I got to buy that. So I bought that to help support the team.
Is it Funky Cold Medina?
No, it's not. Matt, no, not at all.
I've been out of town, so I haven't been able to play. I beat the story. It did not put it down. I tried a little bit of the online and kind of got wrecked, but getting wrecked in Titanfall 2 is still fun to me because there's something still the way that game controls and the way that game moves. It feels so good. It feels so fluent.
I agree 110% with you. So I was talking to Corey about this before we started the podcast. Like, when he was we were talking about Tekken 7, and it's like Tekken 7, you can't get in with like your crew and have like 5-6 people involved in the match. Like it's just you in the match. Whereas in Titanfall, you're playing with like 3-4 of your friends and you're having a good time. And like with Titanfall, like you get revenge from, okay, so this pilot's been kicking your ass the entire match. Well, guess what? Somebody destroys his Titan and he goes to eject. Well, guess what? You pluck him out of the sky with a timed shot and he's dead. And it's just like, yes, like it's the most satisfying feeling that you will get. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. Like I feel like shooters just, even though you're getting killed and destroyed, like you might lose matches like 500 points to like 200, you're still having fun because you're playing with your buddies and you guys are trying to work towards a goal. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Or you're just carrying my ass along, right?
I do that all the time, even in Bloodborne.
Can I say after playing wow.
I taught you everything you know, man.
No, just
after playing Titanfall 2 and then trying to play Call of Duty's Infinite Warfare multiplayer, Titanfall 2 destroyed it. Like my Infinite Warfare multiplayer felt like garbage. Like, oh, this is a multiplayer for the 3 duo. That's how bad it felt.
Yeah. I feel sad for Titanfall because it got launched in between. Granted, Battlefield 1 is supposed to be its own thing, but Battlefield 1 did so well and people received it so well. The fact that they launched Titanfall 2 in between Battlefield 1 and in between Call of Duty, like it got wrecked. So I don't feel like it did the sales that it could have done. Personally, I bought both. I bought Battlefield 1 and I bought Titanfall 2, and I'll be honest, I regret buying Battlefield 1. So
I hear that from a lot. I hear that from a lot of people.
I feel with Battlefield 1, I can't swing the pendulum the other way. Like with Battlefield 4, I could start out as a crappy player and learn the ropes and eventually get my kill death ratio up to like a respectable, like, where I'm not like, God, I hate myself, I hate this game. But like a respectable kill death ratio. But with Battlefield 1, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like it's just I'm always getting killed from like, and I'm like, how did that dude get the drop on me? And it's just I don't have fun with it. So I tried to jump back into it like last week sometime, and it just didn't stick. And I go back to Titanfall 2. So.
The sound design, I love how Titanfall 2 sounds. I'm like,
yes.
if you hook it up to a good sound bar, just playing the game, I'm like, oh my goodness, they spent some money on this good sound because the bullets in that game and how they hit people and stuff, it's just like this is spot on. I'm sorry going back to this game, but like the thing about Titanfall 2, like it would have took my game of the year for last year, but like Paper Mario Color Splash and Tokyo Mirage Session just outbeat it. But it is kind of like the best shooter that I've played in years. Personally, for me, the last shooter that I respected and loved was Medal of Honor, the reboot, the first one.
Okay.
Okay. And I know a lot of people didn't like it and stuff, but I'm like, I kind of like that story and I kind of like how it played. It was very well. Any other shooter after that besides Borderlands?
Borderlands. Yeah.
Nice. You don't like Borderlands, right, Ed? Or do you like it?
I do. I like
Okay.
Borderlands 1 and 2. It's Overwatch that I'm not too fond of. That I'm always just like, I play Overwatch. It's called Borderlands 2.
I would rather play Titanfall 2 than Overwatch. I'll just
yes.
Which is funny. I actually got to talk to Michel Gagné. He's a special effects artist. He did the special effects for Battleborn.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked to him for our podcast. Really cool. And he actually showed us a video of all the special effects that he did. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. He did a pretty good job.
It's sad that game hit when Overwatch did, because I was excited for that game. Like, I loved Borderlands 1, played the hell out of it. I had to come around on Borderlands 2, and then the pre-sequel I liked a lot more than Borderlands 2. And then when they were talking about Battleborn, I wanted to get it. And then it just, Overwatch just overshadowed it and just kind of like, took the limelight. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to get Battleborn. So,
yeah, it was weird how Overwatch just seemed to take Battleborn's lunch when they're not the same at all.
Right, exactly.
They're not even close.
No, they're not. Like, Battleborn has a fucking story that you don't have to freaking read online about, But
or you don't have to get fan fiction or porn about Tracer, It's weird.
That's true.
It's weird because Overwatch to me personally came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't know nothing about it till they released. I've never seen no trailer, no press event, just like Overwatch by Blizzard. I'm like,
well, they did announce it at the E3 prior to its release, did they?
There was but see, like Ed, I think you're very similar to me in that you only know about the games you're actively trying not to pay attention to because you don't want them to be spoiled.
Well, Battleborn was marketed more because it was even in Game Informer. So they did some kind of press for Battleborn. Overwatch I just never heard of until it came out and people started talking about it. I'm like, what is this? Like, I knew nothing about it. I didn't even know. When probably I started noticing it when it started having a controversy about the butt thing. That probably is the first time I ever heard of Overwatch.
Yeah.
And that's because of the controversy, not the butt.
I got it for free, so I don't feel bad about it. A buddy of mine came to visit me last summer, and he's like, "I love this game. You gotta play this game." We were at the mall waiting for a movie. And we went into Best Buy. He's like, "I'm buying it for you." I'm like, "I can't stop you. I'm not going to stop you. So if you want to buy it,
you're like, oh, please, no. Don't give me this free game.
Don't buy me a video game. Don't.
Oh, I would have complained. I would have been like,
you're like Willy Wonka. You're like, the suspense is killing me.
Right.
I hope it'll.
I would have complained.
Now, I will say, I enjoy Overwatch. I like playing it when I jump into some matches, but the people that I play with do not play it as much as they play Titanfall 2 or Battlefield 1 or even we roll on some Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3. So that's my issue. I'm like, it's not even on the back burner. It's like in a pot sitting on the counter waiting to be added to the stove, if so.
Dang. I would have took your friend to the Nintendo section and be like, I need you to buy me this. It's called Bayonetta 2. It has the first disc. That's kind of me. If you're going to buy me a video game, your best bet is go ahead and buy me Nintendo. Buy me the 6 rants about. That's going to stick in my library and never go away.
Right. You're not going to take it and sell it. You're going to take that physical copy and keep it in your library. And to be honest, this is the first generation that I've gone digital. I mean, he bought a physical copy for me, but the only physical copies I have is Final Fantasy Type 0. I've got Uncharted 4. I've got Borderlands 2, the Handsome Collection. That's pretty much. Oh, Dark Souls 3. That's pretty much it in Overwatch. It's pretty much it. He bought me Overwatch. That's it. Everything else I buy digital. I mean, it's just physical.
I don't have room for physical anymore.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. Is like,
Corey.
I looking back, I probably didn't have room for physical back whenever either. But I was a kid, and digital wasn't offered. And you're just like, oh, well, I'll just shove these games in a drawer with the rest of these games. That's why all my SNES and NES carts don't have cases. They're just carts that are sitting in a box,
Right.
And then,
right.
And then, when DVD was becoming big and PS2 and Xbox and GameCube all had the nice slim, DVD size cases, they fit on the shelf with your DVDs. But now, being married and we don't have a lot of space, and the space I do have, I have freaking figurines and stuff everywhere. I don't have room for physical anymore. And not only that, it's just like the convenience factor of having everything digital and not having to get up and switch discs and everything. It's just like, this is the first generation where I'm like, you know what? I've decided to go all digital. And like on my Switch games, I bought Zelda and Mario Kart physical, but I think there's this weird thing, and this kind of goes back to the original thought of where this conversation started, was like a lot of people who buy Nintendo games keep Nintendo games because they grew up, and that's just the thing you do. You buy Nintendo games to display and to be a fan of Nintendo, whereas, people who are Xbox and PlayStation gamers are more, I don't know how to say this. They're more like either they're a more casual type audience where like they'll buy 1 or 2 games a year, which is where the Call of Duty, Madden, Battlefield crowd come in, or you get like the hardcore gamers, which are buying every single game that come out, which is like, I think we all kind of fall in the middle of that, where like we buy the games we're interested in, even if we haven't read up a bunch on them. But like the Xbox and PlayStation gamers are more, I mean, this is the wrong phrase, but I'm going to use it anyway, like technologically advanced, I think, where they're more up on technology. They're more into advancing things forward. They're more into like the technological aspect of how powerful are these machines, how fast, like what's the tick rate of their Wi-Fi, like all these types of things. Whereas, Nintendo gamers are kind of more passive.
Play a game.
Or just, let's just play a game together. Let's throw Mario Kart in. Let's throw Puyo Puyo Tetris in. Let's play a couple rounds. know.
And I know, like for me, I do mostly physical. I do some digital for indie games, or some digital like only releases. But like for PlayStation 4, I wait for a flash sale, or I wait for that Tuesday. What's going to be on deal, and then I'll go and get that digital version.
Right.
Or if I see that same game that's in the store that's cheap, or Amazon, I'll order it. At least I know that. Like definitely for me, if it is a game that I'm like, okay, this could be a used game, I could wait for it, then I'll go get it used. Other than that, I do my best try to support that publisher or that developer by buying new and buying that physical. Yes, I know digital is easy, but sometimes the installation time for some digital games are too long.
So here's the thing. So to lead off on your statement, I've got a question for everybody, and you can think about it, because I'm going to state the question and then I'm going to throw in my 2 cents. Are there developers out there that if you were to buy digital, you would just buy it day one? Like you're just there to support these people because they've done great games in the past, and you're just looking for or you have seen the game on a website and you're like, this game is going to be freaking awesome. So for me, I just pre-ordered Nex Machina because I love Housemarque. Housemarque is the shit. Alienation was awesome. Resogun was awesome. I did not.
Matterfall looks sweet too.
Yes, it does.
Outland.
Yes, I did not. So in my defense, I did not own a PS3, which I'm trying to rectify. I own a PS3 now, so I'm trying to get into that library. But I liked Resogun enough to invest in them. So then also Supergiant Games, who did Bastion and Transistor, are putting out their new game Pyre, which is in July.
2 weeks away, right?
No, I thought, is it July? Is it June?
I think it's the first week of July.
I think it's July. I pre-ordered that as well because I love Bastion and I love Pyre. So I have these indie companies, and actually just, overall studios where I'll be like, you know what? I don't care what you do. It's going to look good. It's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. I'm buying it day one. I don't need to wait for a sale. So do you guys have any developers who you guys are you own a special place in your heart?
I can tell you.
I'll get it day one.
I can tell you right now, and I've said this many times, Wait For It Studios, they are the Konami and Capcom of old. That means so much to me. And the Shantae games, the Batman and the Friends one, the people from Yacht Club came out of Way For It, who made Night. Everything out there, even the DuckTales game, like the remake, that might have its problems. But I'm like,
that remake was still good though. That remake was amazing.
Yes, and it's just like everything that they make, they know how to get that style down. Yeah, there might be some problems, but I'm just like, you guys come up with some fantastic games, and I'll support you day one every time you come out. Of course, Nintendo is an automatic given, but like for a developer, definitely Wait For It. I would support them before any other major third-party company that I know of.
Okay. Matt?
While they don't always get my financial support, whenever Atlas announces a new title, I'm interested. And that stems back to Demon Souls almost 10 years ago now. But like then I found out they did the Persona games. So, when Atlas Catherine's freaking great. But like, when Atlas talks, I listen. I'm also with you, like Housemarque. I really like them. Q Games, they did the Pixel Junk series on PS3, and that's like faded away, it seems like. But if they came back and said, "Hey, we're doing this now on PS4," I'm in. But
what did happen to them?
They went PC. They did like Pixel Junk, I think 1 to 6, and it was just real weird. Or they did Pixel Junk AM. That was like a musical experience. They had the guy who did the Pixel Junk Eden soundtrack, Bayon or however you say his name. It was a game kind of developed by him, but it was really abstract. Also, like From Software, I look at whatever. If they talk, I listen.
You'll be excited about the next Arrowhead game.
Yeah, Arrowhead's another one. They did that Helldivers. They did
that damn Helldivers.
They did a great. They did a phenomenal Gauntlet remake.
Who did Spelunky?
That's Mossmouth. If Derek Yu makes another game, yeah, I'm listening, and I've watched that documentary that Danny O'Dwyer of NoClip did on him, and he's talking about a game. He's not saying what it is, and he's not ready to really talk about it.
What is it? Drinkbox?
Jonathan. Well, Drinkbox. I like Drinkbox, but like they're not there for me yet.
Well, I know they're probably working on Guacamelee 2. That was stated like 2 years ago at GNC, or what is it? The
GDC.
Yeah, GDC. Thank you.
Yeah, GDC is game developers. GNC is protein.
Yes, yes. But GDC, they stated that like
GNC states Guacamelee 2 with more whey.
They were asked about Guacamelee 2, and they said yes, it's coming. But I mean, then you also have developers that aren't even like developers. So Axiom Verge was like put on the PlayStation 4, and another team is working on a game called Chasm, which is supposed to be like a Castlevania like type game, which is supposed to be phenomenal. But the same guy that works to try and get those games on PS4 has already stated, it's coming to PS4, so Chasm's coming to PS4, but because the company that they got to put Axiom Verge on a PS Vita was able to do it and create the groundwork, they might be able to get Chasm on a PS Vita. And that's my other thing. Like, I own a Vita, so I will support those indies that are like, hey, we're coming out to PS4 and Vita. Like Oceanhorn. Oceanhorn just dropped on the PlayStation Vita. I've yet to pick it up, but I bought the PS4 version, so I'm waiting, and I'll pick up the Vita version. But, Dan Eidelman, I think is his name, is the guy that does the promotion for for Axiom Verge, Tom Happ. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I interviewed him.
Yeah, Ed got to interview that guy.
Dude, that is awesome. Like his game, like Axiom Verge is phenomenal. I've actually played Chasm. I think it's still on any of the PlayStation demos that you go to, like Target, Best Buy, any of those. Chasm should still be on there. But Chasm is just going to be, I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It's going to be a knockout hit, and I will buy that day one. But Dan Edelman does the PR for both companies that have developed Axiom Verge, as Tom Happ, as well as the guys that did Chasm. And he was like, hey, the team that ported Axiom Verge to the PS Vita, they've already done the groundwork and created the engine, so we should be able to put Chasm on the Vita. I remember there was a poll a while ago where he asked on Twitter who would love to see it Chasm on the Vita, and you goddamn right I voted for that.
Word. I think the only other thing I would really mention is that I actually pay attention to Devolver Digital a lot, mainly because we could talk about publishers and big conglomerates, but
they just do some awesome indie shit.
Devolver says, "Hey, we're gonna put our money on this weird thing," and while I won't say I buy everything day one like I have some of the other developers that I've mentioned, but almost everything they talk about, I'm interested in. In some way.
Are you going to watch the E3 press conference? I don't know when it is.
No, why would I do that to cover that for a podcast? Why would I do
because
that?
I don't know. Because I don't know when they're doing it though. I know they announced it, but I don't know when they're showing it.
I'll let you know in 2 seconds. Give me a second. I gotta look it up. I'll tell you. I've got a picture of it.
But I don't necessarily have any really one developer that I'm married to, but I know the games that I like, and I know the people who tend to gravitate towards things that I like, and I tend to follow them. Corey, what about you?
I don't know. I'd probably agree with Ed. Like, ever since I played Shovel Knight, I think Yacht Club is like, I want to see what they can do next. And I don't know if I would pre-order day one, but what they do next is definitely intriguing. I think Shovel Knight is one of the best games I played in I don't know, probably the last 10-ish years. And
Agreed.
Tom Happ, whatever he's working on next, I would love to see, an Axiom Verge sequel or a something else from him, because I think Axiom Verge has a couple issues, but I mean, for one guy to develop that whole game and see what he can do, either with even a 3 or 5 man team, man, I would just love to see something like that come back.
Before you continue, I will say this. I also pay attention to Play Dead because I forgot about them. Jonathan Blow and Todd Howard's team at Bethesda.
You know what? Jonathan Blow does nothing for me.
Are you sure you're not thinking? Are you sure you're not thinking about Peter Molyneux this time, Ed?
Yeah, Peter Molyneux is a piece of shit.
Yes, because you were sitting there telling me about this game that Jonathan Blow forgot to finish, but it wasn't him.
I apologize for that once again. Yeah,
you did.
That's nothing for me.
And that's fine.
I looked at it and I'm just like, no. If I want puzzles, I'll play Zelda. Sorry, if I want some good puzzles, I'll play Tetris or something. Nothing about his games does anything for me. That's just me.
On a side note, for Corey's talking about Yacht Club, I believe they have a 3rd DLC coming out, don't they?
Yeah, so probably July or August, I think.
Yeah, so they're gonna be working on that. So I could see them showing something at E3 possibly, to be honest, fuck Microsoft, but in Sony's indie showcase, like they could show something, like something new that they're working on and say, hey, we've got, we're finishing up Shovel Knight's last DLC. Here's our new thing. I could totally see them doing that.
Do you think they would show up at Sony's, or do you think they would show up in Nintendo's indie showcase, because how everything worked out with Shovel Knight and Nintendo kind of getting the DLC exclusive first and the game a whole year ahead of everybody else?
They'll show it on Nintendo. They made more.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Edward. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like
money on it.
I feel like Nintendo would try to showcase their next project to try to, because they're not getting any third party support really, and their strongest support other than themselves is obviously from the indie community, and their install base right now is still small enough for them to showcase some indies. And you see indies that may not have gained traction on Switch because people are looking for games to play on there. You see Wonder Boy, you see Snake Pass, you see even Yooka-Laylee. A lot of people are holding out for the Switch version. So, I mean, I think Nintendo would probably try to showcase that in SteamWorld Dig 2 and whatever else they have down the pipeline for like an August indie month, since, September, October, November is full of Nintendo titles. And
people probably are going to be watching for Japanese indies. Because the recent, I would say this: if they announce Mother 3 for, let's just say, for Japanese, whenever they announce Mother 3 for Switch, it's a done deal for other systems. I want to see how well people on in America, like how much.
I think the problem
eShop credit.
I think the problem. I think the problem with like Mother 3 is like that the people that love Earthbound, that community is so small.
Yes.
That
yes.
I've tried to play Earthbound probably 10 times, and I'm sorry, I hate that game.
You need to move on. You need to move on with your life.
I bought it when it came to Wii Virtual Console or Wii U Virtual Console, and I tried to play that game. I don't know. That game is just
difficult.
I feel like a lot of games that get hype, like Mother 3, and there's a couple other games that people want translations for, like the original versions of Final Fantasy 2 and 3. I think those people are just the loud majority, and maybe only 10% of that loud majority would actually buy something like that. I don't know. I feel like Earthbound is just this weird franchise that people say they have nostalgia for, but really don't care about that franchise. I don't know. It's just this weird vibe that I get about Earthbound, that every time somebody brings it up, that I'm just like, it's kind of like that eye roll moment every time I hear somebody mention Mother 3. I just like, really, this again?
Well, I think with people now knowing that the system is free, they don't know what to do is release the game and people will switch over in America. Now, what would be, let's see how the numbers do. If in America, I don't know how people will be able to track it, but I'm just like, let's see what it does when it gets announced and when it's released for Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the cost it would take to translate that game outweighs the cost of releasing it. I feel like they would spend more money releasing that. Now, if they did that, it would be a show of goodwill to fans. But if they haven't announced or brought out a new Metroid game, why would they spend money on Earthbound? Like, I don't know. It's just this, like,
I can understand that. People, because wasn't Mother 3 like already translated in English too?
There's a lot of fan translations out there, and there's there's like one translation that people view as the of like non-official official translation that Mother 3 fans play. But like at that point, those fans are playing it on an emulator. They're not playing it on a Switch. They've played it and they're playing it. I feel like the people that want to play that game have a way to play that game without giving Nintendo money, and the people who haven't played that game, like I guess what I'm trying to say is the vast majority of people who want to play that game have played that game already in some form or not.
I think they still want to own that version on their Nintendo console. I get what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that those people want to own it on their Nintendo system. Like I want to own, like the big thing for me right now is waiting for Virtual Console to be announced for Switch, right? Because I want to have N64 and GameCube specifically, those games on the go. And those people would probably buy a translated version of Mother 3. Yes. But I feel like, at that point, it would just be a showing of goodwill to fans, because Nintendo would not spend the money, and the money that they would spend to translate the game, they would not make back based on the number of people who would buy the game.
And that's why I want to see the numbers, like how much Amazon Japan does for eShop credits.
Which one is Mother 3?
Earthbound 2.
It'd be Earthbound 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
so
they
did release super expensive cartridge.
Earthbound.
Is that Mother 1 or
no? It's Mother 2 is Earthbound.
So what was so? Does no one care about Mother 1 then, or what?
Well, they already released Mother 1 as Earthbound Beginnings here in the US on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Okay,
like it was like last year, I think. I think
it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, because they were like, you can buy it right now.
Because that was during the Smash tournament. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think people have been crying out for Mother 3, and now it's a possibility that people will get that digital version if they can. That's why I just want to see what, because someone's going to report on it. Someone's going to be like, how many, or do a test or something, a poll, like how many people imported Mother 3 digitally, like brought it from eShop Japan.
I mean, like, how long has that rumor been going around, though, that they were going to port it to some American Nintendo platform or Western Nintendo platform? There was a long time it was being ported to Game Boy Advance. There was a long time that they were going to release it as a DSi shop download. There's a rumor that it was going to come to Wii Virtual Console. Like, that rumor's been going on for 15, 16 years at this point. And like, as much as I love Nintendo, I just don't think that they would do something like that, because they've, like, right now with the Switch, they have a lot of goodwill with their fans. I don't think they're going to go out of their way to create more goodwill until they figure out, I mean,
I don't think they're as insane as Sony.
Yeah.
And also, is Mother 3 the goodwill move? Because that game is a niche of a niche.
Yes. So I mean, you look at Sony, and I always when people are like Xbox over Sony, I'm like, no, fuck you, because if Microsoft was producing The Last Guardian, they would have fucking canceled that game in 2 years. Not even 2 years. So
Sony, like, oh, you can't get the dog to cooperate? Kill it.
Sony plays look at what they did at Scalebound. Sony plays the long game, and they're like, we know our fan base. We know our fan base is insane. We are trying to produce games for our fan base. Microsoft would never have put out The Last Guardian. They would have been like, it's done, get rid of it, much like they did Scalebound. And even though Scalebound, I would be willing to bet fucking $100 that it was 90% done. And they knew this is the problem with Microsoft. And Jim Sterling, I watched his latest video on 2K talking about profits. The problem with Microsoft is it's not going to make us the most amount of money.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's going to make them money at all. It's not going to make us the most amount of money. So they're like, we're going to fucking kill it.
Well, the only series that make Microsoft money is Forza.
Yep.
Halo and Gears. You can't count out
Halo's rec pack. Like they've made more money on rec packs on Halo 5 than they have by selling the game.
But I'm just saying selling the game itself. Forza sells more. Still to this day, some of the 360 Forzas are still selling whatever price if they're still available at retail, are still selling more than Gears and then do Halo.
Yeah,
because people
Forza's Microsoft's bread and butter right now. Like that's the only franchise they own that is not in some sort of trouble right now.
Well, you got to look at the other developers. Look at Gears, change developers, kind of burn people on that, and look at Halo, change developers. It's not Bungie, so it kind of burned people on. I know some people who are still huge fans of Gears and Halo, but I also know a lot of people who are just like, no, I don't want to play this anymore. And personally, I'm one included. I played Halo 4, I played Gears of War 3, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this series. Like, I'm done with both these series. I'd love to find out where the story goes, but your gameplay does nothing for me. And so I can't, I won't buy an Xbox One for those. Microsoft needs to come out and show me some games that make me want to buy their system. So far, they have done a great job of selling me on not buying their system. So,
yeah, and that comes back to the thing where like Xbox needs to show us why that we need to own Xboxes this year. Like I mean, yeah, great, you're putting out this huge, powerful box, but
when you come out and vocally state the fact that your Xbox One and your Xbox S are the 4th and 3rd best place to play your games, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna bend over like the Xbox and just be like, well, I'll take a sandpaper dildo up the ass to buy your Scorpio. I bought your Xbox One. Now I'll sell that.
You're stealing my joke, Bruce.
I'm not gonna do that.
This is the thing with Microsoft. They're experiencing what Nintendo has been through and came out of. Yeah. So Microsoft never had to experience this with Xbox and with 360. Yeah, they had their problems with their systems, but they didn't have to. What happens when you're not popular anymore?
Yeah, that's true.
When your games are not selling. Now, Sony, yes. If it wasn't for that used game portion of Xbox One, PS4 wouldn't have sold what it sold.
No, and the always online. It's the always online. That.
Well, yeah, but even though Microsoft is not always online anymore, but that was what killed it.
What you want to know as a consumer, what killed the Xbox One for me? I was an Xbox 360 player. Loved the Xbox 360. I was ready to buy an Xbox One. What killed it for me was indies. The way that Microsoft treated indie developers like shit. And of course, like they did with all their, DRM and they're always online, they reversed on everything. They reversed on how they treated indies. Well, you know what? Too bad. When my favorite developer who produced Bastion on the Xbox 360 said, our next game is going to PS4 because we don't want to deal with Microsoft. Guess what I did? I went to PS4.
Was it like the certified process, like terrible for everybody?
Yes. It was like you've got to pay a shit ton of money. And then if you have to do a patch, you have to pay a shit ton more money on top of that. Like it was insane. And Sony was like, listen, if you bring your game to our system, we'll help pay for it. You know what I mean?
You don't need a publisher either. That was the big thing too. That's like, I know Xbox kind of changed their ways a little bit later, but like that was the big thing for indies too. For PS4 was like, you can self-publish. We're not going to take like 60% of your money. We're going to take 30%, and your first 2 patches to your game are free. And like. And those are the 3 big things.
And I don't know Nintendo's business, but at least Nintendo was just like, hey, if you make your game on Unity, you could port, and this is how easy you could port your game. And they showed it at GDC. I've never seen none of that at Microsoft. Like, I've never seen.
Also, like if you look at developers like Ska Studios who did Salt and Sanctuary, and which is phenomenal. Microsoft doesn't even support the system that they make that game in. You know, like you can't.
That's
like,
crazy.
You can't. Like they're like the reason we're going with PlayStation 4 is because they support the system that we create our game in, and Microsoft's like, well, we'll do that later on down the road, and it's like, well, you're just giving the finger to that developer, and I'm not going to support that. You know, so
right. I mean, the only leading thing for Microsoft that came out for Xbox One, and the reason why I got an Xbox One was because of Ori and the Blind Forest. The way that the art style, the way that the trailer was put together, that made me want to buy Xbox One. I knew I had to get an Xbox One and PS4. I'm a podcaster. I'm a video gamer. I kind of got to have all the systems. I mean, personally, for me,
I that is awesome, and I've heard great things about Ori and the Blind Forest, but it's one game. Like
it's also on PC now.
Yeah, and it's on PC now.
Yeah,
and with their you could play everywhere. I don't even.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the big problem.
But see, this is the thing.
I really wonder if the Play Everywhere is a Microsoft executives versus a Xbox executives decision, and I really think it's a Microsoft.
Oh, it's definitely a Microsoft thing because there was a rumor like probably 5 or 6 years ago that Microsoft was looking to sell off the Xbox brand.
That wasn't a rumor.
Yes.
They've been wanting to sell off the Xbox division forever.
And like you're right.
R&D costs alone, like
they should just sell it to Amazon, and Amazon can eat the fucking costs. But I mean, you also
Amazon ain't losing money.
You look at developers, Z-Boyd Games, who does Cosmic Star Heroine, which just came out on the PlayStation 4. They would have been, their studio would be dead with the amount of updates that they have due to Steam and to the PlayStation 4 version of the game. If they would have had to pay the costs that Microsoft is like, hey, pay these costs to get certification. Oh, certification for this patch. I think they went through like 3 or 4 patches before I even started the game. So it's ridiculous on Microsoft's account that's their standing.
Yeah, I think that the Play Anywhere was definitely was trying to fight off Steam. Definitely when I got my Xbox One, because of Ori, they didn't have the Play Anywhere experience, and but they had their external hard drive, so that was a bonus definitely to me. And then a lot of their games like Rise of the Tomb Raider was on there, and Tomb Raider was really good, so I wanted to get that because it's exclusive to Xbox One. And then there was just some other games like Witcher 3 was like $30 compared on Xbox One. And this was during the holidays, of course.
Right? No. I understand, but so let me throw another fact out there and let me ask your opinion. What are your feelings on the Rise of the Tomb Raider? So you got Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out on the Xbox One. Okay. Does whatever sales, and then they move it to the PlayStation 4, and then PlayStation 4 fans cry out so much the controls need work that the studio works on the PS4 version instead of the Xbox version. Like what does that say to you as an Xbox One consumer?
Well, to me, it really doesn't say much because at least I got to get that experience first, and I get to be in discussions, and I get to enjoy this exclusive game at that time. By the time it comes out to another system, guess what? Nintendo released a whole bunch of games that I want to play. I got Rise of the Tomb Raider. Guess what? On Black Friday for PS4. And the only thing, and to me, the only thing they added was really, I mean, yeah, it's a collector's edition or anniversary, but the only thing they really added was the DLC. Well, that's just like any other Game of the Year game that they released on the systems. So it wasn't no loss to me. I paid $20.
But I think
you guys finally get to
wait. I thought the PS4 version had a special VR addition to it where you could like walk the Lara Croft mansion.
Did
they not have that
like Johnny Cash?
It's VR exclusive to PS4, but that segment is also in Xbox One for
Okay, I was just wondering.
for like a first person.
Okay.
Okay, I was just wondering. Okay.
I think the VR thing that didn't really matter to me because we see how PSVR doing now. But it was.
I almost bought that. I almost bought that shit.
but see,
I wanted to for a while. I'm glad I didn't.
Can I tell you? We just got it at my job. Literally last week, we just got PSVR.
Where do you work? I don't know where you work. I'm sorry.
Toys R Us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got like a display, like, hey, try it out type thing.
No, we got the system in the box. When PSVR came out, they sent us some of the games. They never sent us the system until now. And I think Sony had to cut a deal with Toys R Us to get it into their stores.
Probably.
And we got the $500 the VR. I think it's a game, and this is the Move controller. So it's that complete box. But we didn't have it ever since that it came out. We just literally got 2 of them last week, and they're going to be stuck in our store for a long time until Sony puts a sale on them. Our Switches though, they're flying out the door. People are still calling for a Switch, but with the Rise of the Tomb Raider,
Switch has more appeal than VR does. In all honesty,
yeah. I think PlayStation owners were looking for Uncharted 4. So, you had Rise of the Tomb Raider, and people got to experience that, and that was a good time to play that game. And then when Uncharted 4 came out, depending on if you liked it or not, it is what it is. That was the Tomb Raider for Sony, and then Tomb Raider just finally came out, for PS4. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I think Uncharted does a better job than Tomb Raider does.
I disagree. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I disagree too. That's fine.
Rise of the Tomb. Can I tell you why? Because
sure,
Uncharted 4 is so paint by the numbers. Their design is still to me a terrible thing. It was too long. First of all, you play maybe 75% of the game is backstory. Guess what? For Uncharted, most of those games, 2 and I think some of 3, those games always start off with him being in the past. They show something in the present, and then they go to the past, and that's most of the whole game. And it catches up to a point where it needs to start ending, but they want to drag it out long. And I guess it's so paint by the numbers that it's trying to be so cinematic. Guess what? How about you just start me in the past? Don't show me what's going on in the present. Surprise me with the present and your narrative, and then go on with the game. Because when you get to the present stuff, I have to redo all that stuff that you introduced in the beginning. And Naughty Dog for me personally, that was just such goodness. I've been doing this.
Hang on. You're worried about Naughty Dog contextualizing the past, present, and future, yet evangelizing Nintendo games?
For the design of the Uncharted series is paint by the numbers. For me personally, I'm just saying that if you're going to make most of your game in the past, like 60%, give me that first without bringing me the present. Don't have me on the shit with my brother and think I got to redo when I get to that part in the game later on. Start me off part and then let me go on from there with the game.
Okay.
It's just what I'm. If you're gonna do something in
as a person,
with the game, the jail sell stuff, and then start with a Bandicoot. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, I was just saying, as someone, so I didn't have a PS3, so when the Nathan Drake collection came out, I was like, well, I gotta buy that because I'm gonna get Uncharted 4 because that's what's to fucking own on the PS4. My only problem with with the Uncharted series is the shitty ass controls and the gunplay. The gunplay is horrible. It is horrendous. So we might be able to agree on that. We might be able to agree on that. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to say, as far as story-wise, supporting cast, involvement in the game. I felt more involvement in Uncharted 4, and this is comparing not to Rise of the Tomb Raider because I haven't played that yet, but it's comparing it to the reboot of Tomb Raider from 2013. That was 2013, I believe it came out.
Yeah.
It was a great game. That was a great game, but I know they were trying to reboot it, and so like I still, in the last, I bought my PS4 in 2014. So then whenever the Nathan Drake collection came out, I bought that, and I was ready for Uncharted 4. I had people telling me, you need to play the first 3 before you play Uncharted 4, and I did that, and I struggled like a man with a 10,000-pound gorilla on my back through the gunplay of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. I really wanted to stab myself in the face because of that. But I will say there was a payoff with 4. Like 4 is phenomenal. It looks great. I agree with, I understand where you're saying like it's cookie cutter and all that stuff. But in the defense of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann had to take it over. Like he took over Uncharted 4, and so he kind of got screwed. I feel, in all honesty, if Neil Druckmann was producing Uncharted 4 from beginning to end of that game, it would be something completely different. It would be totally different. He was put under the gun. He was, everything was like on him, and he had to come up with something, and Uncharted 4 is what he came up with. And in my opinion, having freshly played 1 through 3 and then 4, I feel he did a great job. I felt he did a tremendous job with what he was given, and the game that they put out was amazing, and I liked the ending of the story. I liked the epilogue. I am pumped. Sorry, people, spoilers, but in 3 to 5 years, I could see Sony saying, "Hey, his daughter's gonna start her own adventure type thing." You know what I'm saying? Like I could totally see it being like where she's off and she gets stuck, and Nathan Drake has to come and help her. Or
he's like the Sean Connery figure in the Indiana Jones.
Well, he's going to be the Sully. He's going to be the Sully.
Exactly, Corey. Exactly. He's going to be the Sully in the story, and I could see Sony being like, "Let's give this some rest." I mean, they have the Lost Chapters coming out in August. Yes. I believe it is August, like 28th, whatever August is. That 3rd or 4th week, and so they'll have that come out. But I could see them putting it to bed for like 3 to 5 years, and then just at E3 just freaking like knocking everybody out with just being like, she's doing her own thing,
And I said, I'm like, if you
daughter drinking,
and I said that if you own a PlayStation 4, Uncharted 4 is a must-have for your library. Because
not for me, it's not.
I mean, it does.
Because you're an asshole.
True.
It does some things good. And if at that time I was just like, if you don't own the Xbox One and you don't own Rise of the Tomb Raider and you just own PlayStation 4, Uncharted 4 is a good game to have. I'm like, it really shows off impressively graphically what PlayStation 4 can do. Just like Horizon, it's a game to own because it graphically it looks beautiful in its own right.
Hang on. Horizon is not a game to own just because graphically.
I think Horizon is infinitely a better game than Uncharted in terms of the way it plays, the world building. Personally, the characters. I think the characters are way more interesting in Horizon. My big thing with Uncharted 4 specifically was. Like Uncharted 1 was okay for me, but I still think Uncharted 2 is the best out of the 4 games. Uncharted 3 was just more Uncharted 2 for me. The big thing with Uncharted 4 was they introduced this brand new character that nobody mentioned through the original 3 games,
which pissed Ed off originally,
and the prequel, and like they try to force this character into this story that was like you're supposed to have an emotional connection to this character already, and like that's part of my issue with Uncharted 4 was like they spent too much time trying to give you this emotional connection to this character that was brand new to the series, which made the game longer than I feel like it should have been. And like I enjoyed Uncharted 4. I think it's better than the Tomb Raider reboot. The first game. I think that it does a lot within the universe that Uncharted is setting up. Like it ties off a lot of loose ends. I agree. I think the epilogue was amazing, and I can't wait to see what they do with that character specifically. I just had this really big issue with, the brother that they introduced.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you like Indiana Jones' dad, Sean Connery, and Indiana Jones' Last
Have you ever listened to this show, Moose?
Fuck you, Matt Keel. All right? I'm asking Corey a question. Do you like Sean Connery as Indiana Jones' dad in the 3rd fucking movie?
Okay,
Indiana Jones.
Corey.
No, listen, Matt. You're not talking. You're not talking.
We both think Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade is the best one.
Here's the thing, though.
That has nothing to do with it. Here's
my thing with Indiana Jones, though. We all assume that every human being has parents, right? And Sean Connery is a parent, whereas brothers have more of a, side-by-side connection, whereas, parents are the generational gap. And
can I ask you a question?
For me,
did they not do a good job of tying Sam in 4? I'm not saying that they didn't force you to care about him. Did they not do a good job of adding him to the canon, to the story?
I think they did a good job of introducing a new character to the canon without having any prior mention. I think that they did that as the best they could, but at the same time, I just feel like that character, that whole game could have been something totally different without that character. And I still don't know how I feel about Sam as a character, because I think I need to go back and play that game again, just a little bit of it, to try to figure out what the purpose of this character is. And I know the purpose was Drake retired from treasure hunting, and his brother, spoilers for Uncharted 4. I'm sorry. Spoilers.
Fuck you if you haven't played Uncharted 4.
If you haven't played it by now, this is your fault.
Yeah.
My fault.
Him and his brother were in jail, and he tells this big lie to take Nathan Drake on this treasure hunt that they've been talking about since they were children. And his brother faked his death, which was the big plot point, which is why he wasn't mentioned in the previous games and 15 years prior.
Right.
That was the whole thing. And to me, that's TV cop out. We're bringing in this character on one side, but on the other side, I don't know how to feel about that character, but
I can offer an opinion. I can offer an opinion as a person that was new to the Uncharted series. Okay, it didn't feel weird. Okay, but Corey, you can answer this question. How many times did you play Uncharted? How many times did you play Uncharted 2? How many times did you play Uncharted 3? These were games where they were released, and all people had to play in that series was that game for how many years until the next one came out. When I was introduced to the series, I had the Nathan Drake collection, and hey, look at that. And I think it was April, Uncharted 4 is coming out. You know what I mean? So I didn't have, I will be honest, I didn't have as big of an investment in the series and the characters and the story. Granted, I'm glad that I went back and played 1, 2, and 3 before I played 4. But I feel that's possibly where your hang up is. You have played these games so much and have invested in these stories so much that you feel like this is just a toss in. And I can understand that, but as someone new to the series and like looking at it from the outside, I can see how the developers of the game took the approach that they did to Uncharted 4.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing about it. When they do the flashback of Nathan being young with this brother, they did the same flashback in, I believe, in 3. That you play a young Nathan Drake.
But
So-
no mention of the brother.
Where was his brother there? Well, like here's my thing though with the brother too is like if Uncharted didn't have so many good supporting characters already, like Elena and Sully and Chloe, you know, those characters are great support characters. If they didn't have so many great support characters too, like introducing his brother into the story would have helped. But at the same time, you already have all these side characters that you already have relationships with, that you've been through so much with through 3 or 4 games if you played Golden Abyss. And, you know, Sully is an awesome character. Elena is a great character. Chloe is an awesome character, which is why, you know, they're centering a whole game around her in the fall. I just feel like adding another character to that loop was almost too much because you got less of the characters that you already love.
I think
I think that's what Moose is talking about, where like we've been playing these games. Like for me, I've been playing them since, you know, when 2 came out. I bought, you know, 1 and 2 at the same time and played them back to back. You know, we've been playing these games for 7 or 8 years, and Moose played it with fresh eyes, you know, playing them all back to back to back, where, you know, maybe it's different from that fan perspective. But, you know, again, like, at the same time, Ray.
I would understood if they would have put him in 3 in the flashback.
But see,
so that we know
it wasn't something that was possible. Like Neil Druckmann took over Uncharted 4, and I personally believe that's when he added Sam.
Yeah,
he added.
I mean, we already know there was
Sam, and was like, "This is the character that you are playing," and I feel like that has slighted a lot of the Uncharted fans. But then, if you look at it with a fresh pair of eyes, I feel
Amy Hennig did it. But Amy Hennig, is it Hennig or she didn't leave it while before Uncharted 4. She left while they were making Uncharted 4. She left during that development.
Yeah, they had to reboot Uncharted 4.
Yeah, they pretty much.
She left during Uncharted 4, did she not?
Yeah.
They had to reboot it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, there's offhand remarks from like voice actors that were playing certain characters. They left the project, or, you know, like Alan Tudyk is probably the most famous example where he was like a semi-important character to the story, and he left the project when they changed hands. And he's like, I don't want to say anything bad, but, you know, he knew the project was going in different directions, and he didn't feel like he was needed to during that transition. And like, don't get me wrong, that transition and Neil Druckmann taking over, I think they made a solid, fantastic game. I don't want to feel like I don't want to sit here and say Uncharted 4 is a bad game, because it's not. It's it's a very good game, and I enjoyed it a lot.
It is.
I just feel like that character. I wish they. I don't know if I wish he was. I wish he was. I don't want to say I wish he wasn't there.
Yeah,
I wish they could have like maybe introduced him earlier, or like at
Can I ask you a
different
question?
way.
Can I ask you a question? In their defense, you know, you're coming from a huge Uncharted, you know, player, and you liked everything from the series. I can see how you're saying, you know, I feel he was just shoehorned in. But if you were just to step back and look at it as a development cycle, do you feel the way that they introduced him was good or bad, and why?
I think the way they introduced him, I think they introduced him the best way they could.
Okay.
I think they gave us a lot of backstory to that character, and I think they did what they could by introducing a new character that's supposed to be important. By not introducing this character early in the series, they did everything they could to make you care, and it was gonna be a yes or a no for a lot of fans. Like, a lot of players like the brother, like Ray Osorio, been on the show a million times, loves Uncharted. He loves Uncharted 4, and he's a big fan of that. And
I love Sam too.
Fans.
I love Sam too.
Yeah, and they weren't gonna get 100% win by introducing this character, but I think
no way were they gonna get 100% win.
I think reading the Game Informer cover story might have probably helped for some people who were into Uncharted 4 to see who Sam was going to be, like how he's going to play. Because, for a game that big, for me, I want to read the story, the cover story first, to know, get a heads up of what I'm going to get into before I get into the game. So you depending on if you read it or not, some people probably had a heads up of getting a feeling of who Sam was. But you will really find out who he really is when you actually played the game. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't see how that game was, that Game Informer cover story. I just think that if maybe at the end of 3 they probably could have hinted that he had a brother, maybe, and then lead that into Uncharted 4. I don't even know, was Uncharted 4 even planned after 3?
No, I don't.
Was
I don't
3
know. I mean, I think it was planned, but I think
I'm sure Sony was like, money.
Well, I mean, that was at the time where Naughty Dog was 2 teams, right? And they had the Uncharted team, which was Amy Hennig's team, and then they had Neil Druckmann's team, which was the Last of Us team, right? And then they pulled resources.
No.
Yeah.
The Uncharted, and then the Uncharted 2 team is what did Last of Us.
Yeah.
Right. But before
Amy Hennig wasn't overseeing a team; she was overseeing a project. That's different.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like, they basically had essential people for both quote teams, and then they moved resources where they needed them, right?
Yeah.
So when they finished Uncharted 3, so a lot of that team moved over to The Last of Us, but some of them started pre-pro on Uncharted 4, and then
because she was writing the story,
right? And then once that whole thing happened where Amy Hennig left and Neil Druckmann moved back over, they pushed them all back into one team to get Uncharted 4 done. And now I think there's still one team with a few essentials on pre-pro on whatever's coming after The Last of Us Part 2.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry, Ed. I feel like we need to move on after this, because we've been going a while. A lot of things were brought up during this discussion. I had very little input because I don't play Uncharted. I don't like Uncharted, mainly because of what Moose said about the shitty controls. I played like 40 minutes of Uncharted 2, and I was like, nope, I'm kind of done.
Why do you think I played those games on easy?
Exactly.
It's like The Witcher 3.
I'm going to say this. I think Corey made a masterful statement in comparing Connery and Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, because it's easy. I mean, it's assumable that everybody has a mother and a father.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at the way The Last Crusade story is told, you don't get much mention of him because Indiana Jones wants to move out from the shadow of his father, who was a world-renowned archaeologist. Now, in terms of inserting a brother into a story, you have to build that bond. Like, not all. I know plenty of people. Yes, you do, Moose. I know plenty of people who are at my age in their late 30s. Their relationship with their siblings is little to none, and that's only at holidays. But at that point, me coming into someone's life with that relationship with their sibling, I don't even know about the sibling because it doesn't inform their life. However, what I do know about, I mean, I'm not an accomplished writer, but what I know about the theory of writing, narrative ketchup is a bitch. Are all of you frozen, or is it me?
No, I'm just watching you.
No,
I'm just making
watching.
sure. Because like all of you are like still. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I'm watching, bro. I'm watching.
But like narrative catch-up is insane. Mainly because Corey, stop.
I wanted to make sure you knew we weren't frozen.
You're gonna give me a seizure now. But like I've also seen movies that introduce characters that walk off screen just as quickly as they walked on. You don't get anything about them. But the way that particular scene is written, and there are movies like Slacker, Phantom of Liberty, Discreet Term of the Bourgeoisie. Look them up. I'm not going to explain them.
Stop being cool.
No, I'm a nerd. But you see enough from that person visually rather than through dialogue to sort of get a sense of who they are. And I feel like from what I know about Uncharted 4, because I'm not one of those assholes who watches all the cutscene on YouTube, I'm just not going to play the game because I don't like the series. That's me. That's my problem, not anybody else's. But from what I know, you get this character that essentially did not exist in the universe, and you have to spend time proving his existence. That is a very difficult thing. Now, with Last of Us, Neil Druckmann proved he's an adept writer that can probably maneuver some things around and create holes for, what's his name, Sam?
Joel.
No, not Joel.
Oh, Sam in Uncharted 4?
Yes. He could probably create some holes for Sam to exist and point to moments in Nathan Drake's past to exist. Now,
and that's what he did.
This is going back to Ed's point. That's what the use of the past in Uncharted 4 is. Now, in Uncharted 3, 2, 1, I don't know. I only played 2 and I was bored. So I can't explain that away. But from what I know about the art of writing a story, like I feel like Neil Druckmann, based on the conversation I've heard here and nothing else, Neil Druckmann did what he had to do to make this character, by whatever thin thread imaginable, plausible in this universe.
I want to say he did what is imaginable to make the fucking story work. That's what he did.
I
agree with you. I agree with you. Like he had to create a new story for Uncharted 4 because somebody left, and what he came up with is Uncharted 4. And personally, as somebody who's new to the series, I feel he did a great job. Personally, I agree. Like all the other fuckers out there who are like, "Oh, I wish he could have been introduced in like 2. Why did they not show a flashback with him in 2, where we could see that Nathan had a brother?" Like, fuck you. Like,
yep.
He could not. Like, this is the hand he was dealt, and he fucking. I'm sorry, but he fucking won. He won the hand. He won the hand. Hands down, Neil Druckmann fucking won the hand he was dealt with Uncharted 4. And I will say that with uncertainty. He did a tremendous job with what he was given to create Uncharted 4.
Okay, before anybody responds to Moose, you're going to say that with uncertainty?
With certainty.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I've been drinking, Matt. Right off.
Well, I want our audio listeners to get, whatever story they need just to make sure that you're clear. Corey, any final thoughts on this subject?
Well, back to the original thought, which was like Tomb Raider battling Uncharted as an Xbox.
That was the original thought. How
We must go to Berlin.
We must go to Berlin. You gave the map to Marcus. But
thinking?
I think going back to that original point, like I liked Uncharted 4 a lot, but I played it after Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I thought, story-wise, I think Uncharted as a whole has an upper hand. But gameplay-wise, just playing through the game, I think Rise of the Tomb Raider was more fun to play. I like the hidden tombs. I think the mechanics are better. I think the things you can do in that game are better than what you can do in Uncharted 4. I think the story is better in Uncharted 4 and in the Uncharted series overall. But that said, I think
dollars to donuts that fucking Rise of the Tomb Raider's gameplay is 10 times better than Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Are there donuts in Rise of the Tomb Raider?
I don't think so.
Don't get me excited then.
I'll bring you donuts, Matt.
Yes.
I think Microsoft had the, from a business perspective, the right idea to go after something to fill their portfolio. But people associate Tomb Raider so much with the PlayStation brand that it totally backfired because, a majority of people who own an Xbox, like just as a general gaming thing, they want to shoot stuff. They want to play Call of Duty. They want to play Halo. They want to play Gears of War. They want to play Destiny. They want to play games where you shoot stuff. Mm-hmm. Tomb Raider is not that game.
Yeah.
And as much as Microsoft wants to be different than that Halo Call of Duty box, that's what everybody thinks when they think Xbox is Halo and Call of Duty.
The vast majority of the consumers out there who heard, Rise of the Tomb Raider is only year exclusive. The vast majority were like, I'll buy it on PS4.
Yeah, and at that point, I think they released Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4 at a bad time, just like they released it at a bad time on Xbox, the same day as Fallout 4, which they also had the marketing for, by the way.
Yeah.
What game are people going to buy? The sequel to a rebooted franchise, that people don't really think about in terms of high quality. Where, don't get me wrong, the reboot and Rise of the Tomb Raider are great games. Or are they going to buy the follow-up to a genre-defining game in Fallout 4?
Dark Souls 3.
So
I bought Dark Souls 3.
I
didn't.
I think they had good intentions by getting the Tomb Raider exclusive, but in the long run, that really hurt Xbox. It hurt the franchise in Tomb Raider. And, who knows how the next Tomb Raider is going to go? Are they even going to work on another Tomb Raider? I know that the Shadow of the Tomb Raider got leaked somewhere.
They put that out to pasture. And I'm not saying, Square Enix saw what happened with Xbox, and I $100 bet they will not do anything exclusive with Microsoft again because of the shitstorm that was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Well, that plus, are they even going to work on Tomb Raider anymore? Because, Crystal Dynamics has that Avengers deal now. And Eidos Montreal, who was the studio supposedly working on the third Tomb Raider game, has a Guardians of the Galaxy deal now.
They might just have to wait. And that's the problem. And that's the problem with Marvel coming in and just signing with fucking everybody. They need to set with a studio and be like, this is who we're working with, who does not has a previous pedigree that is good, but doesn't have anything in a series. So I agree with you. Deus Ex was put on hold for a while. And so now I bet you Tomb Raider will be put on hold for a while until they can get these Marvel games out.
Yeah. Well, those studios, any studio is going to be dumb not to sign a contract to get that Disney money.
That's true. They're getting that Disney money, and I feel like, hey, let them produce a game or two. Let's let Tomb Raider go out to pasture. Rise of the Tomb Raider was a great game. You know, it had great reviews. Let's rest on that for a while and then come back and just kick everybody's teeth in. You know what I mean? Like, I could see the studio coming back and be like, all right, we're done with Marvel stuff. We're going to kick everybody's teeth in that love Tomb Raider, you know? So
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think we had a pretty decent discussion on that.
That's done. It should be done.
I mean, this has been an amazing show. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite shows we've done in a long time. But what do we say we play some 20 questions to wrap these things up?
Before we do that, I just want to say I like the fact that instead of talking about what we were playing, we talk about, you know, our high school nicknames.
That was good.
And then we just went.
Good.
And then we just went.
I also want to make note that it was light outside when we started the show, and now it's pitch.
Yes, it was light outside here, and now it's dark. So
yeah.
Oh, summer.
Matt,
Yes, dark.
is it my game or is it your game?
I think
It's your game because you spent last week pulling my game out of your ass.
you did.
Right.
You
I hope you got that smell off your arms, Deerig.
Yeah, I forgot. That was the best. That was amazing.
God,
Hey,
It was
that's just getting you back for Rock Band on PS2.
you walking penis with ears.
Hey, don't
Hey,
Wow.
don't be nasty to him.
Hey, I said this on Fathers of the Grind. The point of 20 questions is so one of us can hate the other till the next episode.
That's right. That's why Matt doesn't talk to me until we start recording.
Exactly.
I got.
Apart from the fact that I just want to save everything for the show.
That's true. That's true.
And I work 12 jobs.
Yeah, that's also
Well,
true.
that's not our fault.
No, I'm not blaming you. I signed up for it.
I've got a game for 20 questions if y'all want. Anyways,
Do we want Moose to
Oh, jeez. Are we gonna? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Is Moose ready to join the hallowed grounds that only includes you, me, and Ed?
That's fine. Fuck you both.
All right. Well,
No, fuck you, Moose. Bring your game.
Moose-
Corey,
Moose can-
we're
Moose-
teaming up this time. We're fucking
Moose
this
can
shit up.
Moose can play for the coveted $20 PSN card.
Wait, what?
Sweet.
What
You
the-
don't remember after like the 5th game we said at the end of the year, like in November?
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right.
Dude, you're winning by like 5 games, okay?
Oh, yeah, I could toss this one. I can let Moose get one, I guess. I don't know.
Just
Yeah.
one.
I think the score is Matt has like
I
10
know I'm
points.
up on you at least 3.
I have
No, I'm-
6. No, you're up by 4. I have a count going.
Okay.
That doesn't surprise me.
You're up by 4, Matt. You should be up by 5, but I guess Booger Man last
God,
week.
you asshole.
I love you for that. Corey.
Dude, I told
me
I
and
told you-
Phillips were struggling.
no. You know the only
were
reason the only reason why I picked Booger Man was because I was watching Game Informer does this show called Replay where they play old games, and they were talking about Interplay and their Interplay's old website. And how they were talking about how it was this black and white image of Booger Man with a bunch of linked, like, about us, you know, games we're working on, you know, about our characters. And he was standing there with a trench coat wide open on the front of their website. That's the only reason why I said Booger Man, because that was the first image that came into my head.
Well, see, and I think it was somewhere in the mid-teens where Booger Man was just mentioned inconsequentially.
It was. It was
And I'm
totally
saying, like,
mentioned.
motherfucker, they're going to get it now. I was
like-
trying like hell not to react to that. I was sweating underneath all of my clothes.
Phillips
Trying-
had to slap me because I was like, was
Oh,
there
and
not a
it's-
Fallout on PSX? And he's like, no.
But then he said interplay, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, you screwed yourself on that, buddy. You screwed
Oh, that's
yourself.
what I get for messing with Phillips.
All
Oh,
right.
jeez.
I get a bazooka to the back of the head, and now this.
Oh,
Moose,
boy.
Corey, fearless leader, start us off against the wonder from the south.
Oh boy. Okay. Did this game come out before January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Ooh, he hesitated, so it's hovering around that 2000 mark.
Ed, you want to go next?
Yeah, I will. Is it on a PlayStation system?
No.
Is it a console exclusive? I'll keep track in the chat.
No.
But didn't appear on a PlayStation console? Huh.
Well, when did PS? Oh, wow. Okay, so
what did-
we're talking Sega, Nintendo.
Okay.
I mean,
So this
big
let's-
guys wise.
okay. Didn't come out on a PlayStation platform. Came out before January 1st, 2000, and is
Platform. I say we do platform.
not- okay. What do you mean? What do you mean by platform? Like,
I mean, I think we should nail down platform first. That's all. That's all I'm saying. If Ed disagrees, I'll hear his thoughts on the matter. But I feel
Okay,
like platform is the way to go.
but he said it wasn't a console exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's a good point.
And it's not on
So-
PlayStation. So
Yeah.
Console. It's not a console exclusive. And it's not on PlayStation. What the hell was it? Okay.
I mean, it could be one
Do
of
you
those
want-
weird games that like the Disney games that there's two versions of the game. I mean, that's
Right.
technically not console.
Do you want to aim out? You want to nail time frame down where we like say before 95? Give us 5 years to work
Yeah. Did this come out during the 16-bit generation?
No.
Maybe I think it's your turn.
with. No, it's your turn.
It's your
Oh,
turn.
my turn. Did it come out on the original Xbox?
No, it's before 2000.
No.
Oh, I didn't hear that. The computer froze. That's why.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Ed.
Now,
So it's not in the 16-bit.
it had to be the 32-bit system. And if it didn't come out, hold on,
not
wait.
necessarily. I mean, Master System and
So-
NES games were coming out well into the 90s.
That's true.
Right, but if it's around the 2000, it was PlayStation 1 was around 1995 and 1996.
But it did not appear on a PlayStation console.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you only have Saturn, you have the N64, and then
Dreamcast.
and the Saturn. The
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast didn't come out until 2001.
No, it came out in 99. Dreamcast came out in 99.
Oh, that is right. That is right.
99.99.
Hold on, then it can't be multi-platform then.
That's what he said.
Well,
It is multi-platform though. It could be Saturn or
Let's-
64.
it had to be N64 and
Okay,
Saturn then.
you know what? Here's we go. Is this a disc-based game?
Is that your question?
Yes, that's my question.
No.
Okay,
I think-
cartridge. So N64.
Yeah.
Mm.
So unless we want to stretch and go 8-bit or handheld, because it could be handheld. You never know. Moose could be pulling some tricks.
Ah,
So if
jeez.
it's not 16-bit, it was the NES and Sega Master System. That was 8-bit.
Oh yeah, and then
32-bit was N64. DS wasn't out yet, so it has to be Game Boy Advance, I think.
Game Boy
I don't,
Advance came out in
see, the timeline on Game Boys.
2001.
I never had a handheld system until my Vita, so I don't know.
Let's see. Game Boy Advance was 2001. I remember specifically getting it.
The Game Boy Color?
Oh, jeez. Here, I'm about to clear this up right now. Did this game have pixelated graphics? Like pixel art?
What do you mean in pixel art? Is that
like that would be like NES style, SNES style graphics?
Did it have pixel art as opposed to polygonal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pixel art. Okay.
So it's a sprite-based game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a role-playing game? RPG?
No.
Not many RPGs were multi-platform at that time, because you had all the Square Enix stuff on Nintendo, and then Sega started doing Phantasy Star and stuff like that.
Okay.
Do we want to narrow down developer, like Western or Japanese developer? Stuff like that.
Probably.
What are we thinking?
Do we want to approach genre? Do we want to approach?
Okay, so it's not 16-bit.
Probably approach genre.
It's not pixel. Is it pixel art?
Yeah.
I thought I said yes.
Okay, so it is pixel art. Do I want to waste a question on handheld or no?
You might as well, because that eliminates a lot.
Is this a handheld game?
Yes.
Okay.
Shit.
So if it's multi-platform,
Genre.
that means that.
Do we want to go genre? I'm still confused about like what systems these are on.
Me too.
Well, is it on a Nintendo platform?
Wait, now it's my turn.
Oh. Damn it, Ed! Damn it, Ed!
Wait your turn. Wait your turn. Wait. Ah! Okay. Shoot. You kind of hesitated when you said no to RPG, so that's making me think. Crap.
It's not a 16-bit game.
He said this
So
was
it's not some
game?
dumb shit like Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But it would have been Link's Awakening because of Game Boy Color.
I mean,
Game Boy Color come out. I don't know.
And
what
like Game Boy Color came out in like 96. 97. It came out the year that Pokemon came out. Because that's what kind of revitalized the Game Boy.
Right.
Was it Pokemon on the original Game Boy?
Yeah, but Pokemon Yellow utilized the Game Boy Color's color palette.
Or
Do we know if it's
thereof?
Do we know if it's 2D or 3D? Well, if it's sprite, it'd be
sprite
2D.
based, it's 2D. Okay. I'm gonna try to narrow down. Did this? Oh, shoot. Should I ask if it was on the Game Boy? Because like I feel like that could eliminate a lot too. Like weird Game Boy, Atari Lynx, Wonder Swan color. If you go that far.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Did this game appear on the Game Boy?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Game Boy game. So pixelated. We want to narrow down genre now then, since we know it was on the Game Boy.
Yeah, probably so. Was this a platformer?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that eliminates.
Was this a puzzle game?
Is that your question?
Yes.
No.
I like how that he always asks Matt that.
I have to make sure with that motherfucker.
Why? I'm not like Phillips just asking questions and then when he gets an answer he doesn't like, say, I was asking my team.
Don't you throw Phillips under a bus, because I will come out to Philly and kick your ass for that shit. Anyways,
he totally did that though.
Can you shoot things in this game?
No.
Okay, so that eliminates Metroid. That eliminates Kid Icarus. That eliminates.
Is this a racing game?
No.
Okay, that eliminates like Micro Machines. That eliminates RC Pro-Am. That eliminates that stupid Rad Racer game, which was worse than the NES version.
Yeah, Rad Racer sucked.
I had a lot of Game Boy games.
Platformer, puzzle game, racing game,
RPG.
RPG.
We want to ask like combat, like melee combat.
What kind of game do we think this is then? If it's not one of those, what are we missing?
Sports games like boxing.
But it's a multi-platform game, so it had to come out for N64 or some Nintendo system with
or NES.
But handheld games did not.
Donkey Kong.
But that's a platformer.
You would consider that a platformer?
That's a platformer.
Okay.
But
Ninja Turtles could be a brawler.
Is this a brawler?
Double Dragon, Battletoads, Ninja Turtles.
Is that your question, Mr. Keel? I love you.
This is a very good.
Yes, it's my question.
Is it a brawler? Is your question?
Yes, that's my question.
No.
What the fuck other games were
What
there?
kind of game is this?
Okay. Is it your turn, Corey?
No, it's my turn, Ed. My turn.
Corey's like, I will get this motherfucker.
I'm gonna push the button. It's my turn to push the button.
Oh my gosh, what kind of game is this? If it's not a platformer, if it's not, you don't shoot things. I mean,
I'm kind of curious as to what kind of bullshit Moose is pulling. I'm actually intrigued.
I just like to tell you that I played the shit out of this fucking game when I was younger. So.
Well,
you wouldn't know that, man, because I never talked about it. So.
Oh, jeez.
You're fucked.
You've never talked about this game with me.
Never. I've never mentioned this game, but I've got severe nostalgia with it. So.
What should be like something like Miss Pac-Man?
Wrong era.
I mean, okay, let's. Is this game part of a series? Like part of a franchise?
That's your question?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Okay, so that actually eliminates a lot.
All right.
That eliminates Pac-Man. That eliminates a lot of arcade ports. That eliminates. What else is it?
4 more questions, motherfuckers.
That eliminates like 90% of the licensed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that still doesn't help me because I still don't know what fucking game this is.
Can I ask my question? Did this game come out from THQ?
No.
Okay.
What are you thinking about this, Ed?
Well, it has to be on It has to be okay if it's on Game Boy, but it's multi-platform, so it had to come out.
It's got to be an NES game too. Like that's it can't be an N64 game. That the Game Boy is not powerful enough. So it's got to be an NES game.
Yeah, but when did Game Boy end though?
It ended. Game Boy. Do you consider Game Boy Color part of Game Boy? Because if so, Game Boy ended in 2001.
And N64 was out at that. Right, and N64 was out at that time, and so THQ was making games for both systems. Yeah,
but that N64 game's not going to run on a Game Boy. That's my point.
Right, but it does. But if it's on multi consoles, it don't have to be the same game. It could be the same title, but the games could be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Game Boy started in 89 or 89 or 90.
Did we ask if this was a first party game?
No, we didn't. But he said multi-platform, so
it wouldn't be a first.
Yeah, but that can still mean Game Boy NES. That can still mean Game Boy's SNES.
I probably have an idea about this one.
Well, share with the class, Ed.
Do you think it could be a Kirby game?
So it could be.
No, because it's not a platformer.
It could be.
That's true.
Tetris is not really a puzzle. Is Tetris considered as a puzzle game?
Tetris is the puzzle game.
That's okay.
It's the puzzle game that all other puzzle games wish they were and they let dreams of themselves.
I know because that came out for Game Boy and that came out for NES. And Nintendo published both of them. But that's like a multi-platform game, but because it didn't show up on the Sega console.
Matt, you should ask to eliminate that first party game.
Is this a first party game?
No.
Is there combat of any kind in this game?
That's your question?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so it's got to be melee combat because you can't shoot stuff. What were some one-off melee combat games for the Game Boy?
Well, now I know how Q feels.
It's kind of awesome, isn't it?
Well, I know there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's not part of a series.
Oh, that is right because they had 2 of them on Game Boy and 3 on the NES. That's right.
Wait, y'all have that's 19.
Yeah.
You only have 20, and then that's it. So
we have one more.
Thanks, Moose. We're aware of
one more question.
I'm just trying to help you in knowing what fucking hole you got to dig yourself out of. Okay.
We actually have a lot of information about this game. We just need to narrow it down to a game.
Okay. So it's not a puzzler. It's not a platformer. Not an RPG. It has combat. It's a multi-platform game. Came out on Game Boy, so it had to also come out on other Nintendo platforms because it would have been on Sega Genesis. It's not part of a franchise, which that's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's not from THQ. And I know Capcom and Konami, they would have did more sequels for the games.
Yeah.
Or licensed games. So it's not that. It's not first party, so Nintendo didn't make it. Sega, of course, didn't make it because that would have been on Game Gear and Sega Genesis.
We have so much information about this game.
It's so little. It's so little.
And it's sprite base. So if it's sprite base, Arch Rivals didn't come out to Game Boy, did it?
No, it didn't.
I don't know. What about fighting games? Were there any weird fighting games for Game Boy?
No, there were not. Well, Mortal Kombat, but that was Game Boy Advance. That was garbage. So, not for the regular Game Boy. It wasn't.
Gosh, the only games I can think of that were like semi one-offs but they're NES games. Like, I have no idea. And I had a ton of Game Boy games too, and I still have no idea.
Okay. Well, can I just ask the question then?
Yeah.
Or do we have to or what?
No, you can ask one more question and then we get the game guess.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you have a question, go ahead and ask. Make it a good one, Ed, because it's our last question.
Well, if it's a one-off game for Game Boy, then that means that it has to be a one-off game for NES, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about like Solomon's Key or...
Was Solomon's Key a platformer?
I don't know. Clue Clue Land or Bubble Bobble or... I don't know. I'm just thinking of dumb games now. I don't even know what to say. Balloon Fight. I don't know. That's a platformer though, right? Balloon Kid or whatever.
What if it's something dumb like Burger Time? Is that a platformer?
In a sense, I think so.
Man, I feel like it's more of a puzzle game
because the combat is you flattening enemies with ingredients.
That's true.
And I don't think Burger Time came to.
You should see if it's a Western or a Japanese developed game, because that would probably help too.
Is this a Japanese developed game?
Hold on one second.
Look at his glasses, guys.
No.
Look at the Wikipedia page.
So it came from the West. So not Konami.
So it's probably something like
Nintendo.
It's probably something like, who would do a lot of one-off games back then? Like Acclaim, Iguana, Sunsoft. Well, Sunsoft would have been Japanese, wouldn't it?
Right. It would probably be more Acclaim because Iguana is a developer who did most of Acclaim's games.
Yeah, so like maybe Ubisoft at that point, because they weren't as big.
Somebody needs to put 20. That's 20.
You got fingers, Moose.
I did.
Man, I do not have a guess.
I'm
really interested to hear what this game is.
I am too.
Can I just say something and guess the game?
Before you do that, let us know what it is.
Discussion.
So basically, you can talk to them before you guess the game. So go ahead and tell them, and then you will say, "This is my guess," and that's where you burn your guess.
I'm thinking it's a wrestling game. Even though we said racing, we didn't say wrestling. But Acclaim did have some wrestling games, but I don't know if they had any on Game Boy. I know they had some on the NES that was sprite based, and that's the only kind of game that would have combat that doesn't deal with shooting or anything. But it's probably not true because THQ also did wrestling games, but I think THQ did licensed games. And if we're not doing licensed games in this, then it has to be something from Acclaim. And I don't think they did well.
Dumb question.
Well, no, because there's Midway too. Because Midway, Midway didn't bring. No, Narc never came to Game Boy.
No, it didn't come to Game
No,
Boy.
but plus that's shooting.
But also, I know a franchise, not necessarily a series, but a franchise that came to Game Boy that I believe our dear Moose holds very near and dear to his heart. Was Earthworm Jim always a platformer?
It's not part of a series.
But it has shooting in it.
Oh, okay.
What about...
You might as well just...
Hold on. Multi-platform game. What kind of game is Dig Dug?
That is...
shit.
What about...
No, you can't do...
Hold on. Would you consider Marble Madness a puzzle game?
No.
No, I would not.
And it can't be digged up because that came from Namco. And
that's Japanese, yeah.
That's a good point. Ed has got a good point. Edward, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
He's trying to keep y'all asses in check.
But there's combat, so it can't be Marble Madness.
There's combat in Marble Madness, ironically.
No, there's not. Is there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never made it past the second level, so that was my favorite NES game, by the way. The game was awesome.
No, because it could be. Well, no, Double Dragon is from Trade West.
Yeah, and which is Japanese.
Sequels.
Right, but did Double Dragon 2 also come to Game Boy? Because that was a claim.
Clickety clang.
All right. Well, I don't have a guess because I'm stumped.
Can I just say it then? I'm gonna go with Double Dragon 2.
No, because it's part of the series.
I don't got no other.
It's not part of the series.
And Double Dragon 2 came to Game Boy. The reason I know is because my friend Ian had it and let me play it.
I'm really interested to hear what this game is. Matt, do you have a guess?
He's so angry right now. He's angry.
We're not going to get it. So, Matt, you might as well just say something.
I mean, like, I have ideas.
Just take the defeat.
We'll spit them out.
I mean, I don't know if Moose is a basketball fan. Because I know Jordan versus Bird came out on Game Boy.
Hey, little sneak peek.
I also don't know if he's a baseball fan. Because I know Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball came out.
Hint.
No, but see, it's not a first party game.
I don't think Ken Griffey was it?
It's not.
Yeah. Ken Griffey was owned by Nintendo.
Oh, but that wasn't first party developed.
But it's first party published.
Yeah, but we asked if it was a first party game.
Right. So it couldn't be Ken Griffey because Nintendo's the only one that had the rights to his baseball game.
I give up.
And plus it can't.
I don't have a guess. Ed, if you have a guess.
What if
I'm just
dumb pinball game? Because a bunch of those came out on Game Boy.
I'm sorry, what?
A bunch of dumb pinball games came out on Game Boy. But I'm pretty sure that's not it.
No. That's just
you know what? Let's just no. It can't be double. You know what?
For me, I'm just saying.
I'm going to say no guess. We take the defeat.
Yeah. Agreed.
No guess.
No guess.
Battle of Olympus.
I don't know what the
Battle of Olympus, originally released in Japan as Olympus no Takataka, is a 1998 side-scrolling historical action-adventure game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, developed by Infinity and published by Imagineer in Japan, by Broadburned in North America, and by Nintendo in Europe. It was first game from Infinity and was designed and programmed by the company's president. There was a 1993 Game Boy of the same game that was published by Imagineer.
I hate you so much.
It was
all right, Moose, you're fired.
Side scroller, but it I love that game, man. I bought that game with all the monies, and I love it.
You know what? You know, he just oxtred us. You know, that's what he did. That's what the fuck this asshole just did. He came in with his full head of hair and basically took Todd Oxtra's tact and said, I'm gonna pick a game that I like that none of my friends did, and they all made fun of me.
I can't help it that nobody else liked Battle of Olympus.
That's true. You can't.
If you look into it, it's a good game. It was a fantastic game on the NES.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with. I'm just gonna let you have that one and say I bet you like that game enough for me not to check it out.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I think I have to go with this. That's what I have to go with. This.
I don't know what this is because you're not showing anything.
This.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
Oh.
that seems like a good place to wrap the
You know,
show.
congratulations
Everybody
on
hates each
cherry
other.
popping in 20 questions. Welcome to the winner's circle.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You dick.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude our show.
Well-
Moose, you're fired. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, at the AnomalousRadioNetwork.podbean.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. You can also hear my other podcast, World 101 Podcast, at ShoutEngine.com. You can read Optional Opinion at IGN.com under Anime, ENIME. You can also read my series, The Moment, at SkirmishFrogs.com. And you can also check out Nintendo Power Block on NGRradio.com and NGR Radio on YouTube. And you can watch my Twitch stream, the Let's Learn, at the Lyrical One on Twitch.
Moose, you're unfired. Where can we find you?
You can find me at Sven, SVHENN, at Instagram, Twitter. That's my PlayStation Network name, so you can come hang out with me if you want. I've been playing a lot of Titanfall 2 lately, but that's where I'm at.
Matt? You can find me at on every social media platform I choose to be on at @infinite_rewind. If you are talking to someone named @infinite_rewind and it doesn't look like this dumb face you see in front of you, don't talk to them anymore. I can't vouch for what they do or don't do or whatever. I like vinyl. I like beer. You can find me on the Platinum Achievement Podcast when it airs, as well as nowadays John Martin's Craft Chat podcast about craft beer, which Moose has been a part of, and that's been a fun time. We have added our 4th permanent member. It is now myself, John Martin, of course, who runs it, Jesse White, who is the knowledge of the group, and John Cormanick, who is probably as knowledgeable as Jesse about beer. I don't know why they include me, but I enjoy talking with those guys, and I will continue
because
to do so.
you like to drink beer, and sometimes you just need one of those guys.
That's true.
Well, that's what John Martin is, because at least I know enough not to drink Bud Light Lime.
Hey, you leave him alone.
I mean, John knows I love him, so.
Sometimes it's refreshing when you drink more than enough to not taste it anymore.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to pay for 15 of them. I'd like to just have one.
Damn.
I'd like to have one hell or high watermelon.
Corey's like slasher. He's like, cut you, motherfucker.
Or one grapefruit sculpin, or one shape of hops to come, and get a buzz off that, and still get a phenomenal flavor in my mouth.
You love flavor in your mouth.
I do. It's one of the best places to have flavor, in your mouth, where the taste buds are.
In your mouth.
In my mouth.
Your mouth.
Corey, take us home.
All right. Well,
In your mouth.
In my mouth. You can follow me at CoreyandHD on Instagram. I'm not going to plug my Twitter anymore because I don't use it. But if you want to follow me, I guess I'm going to plug it anyway. Corey Hudson and HD, but I don't use it, so Instagram's the place to be. I'm going to start streaming soon. Actually, by the time you hear this, I'll probably stream a couple times already. Corey and HD, twitch.tv/Corey and HD.
Streaming in your mouth.
Streaming in your mouth. That sounds like it shouldn't be on Twitch.
That's why I said it.
You can find NGR Radio every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, and probably before that on your podcast service of choice. Like, subscribe, and share. Leave us a review on iTunes or Google Play, wherever you listen to us. Helps us grow. We've grown a lot in the last couple of weeks in particular, so congratulations, Matt and Moose.
Dude, you're here too, man. Don't be that I'm the morose motherfucker on this shit, not you.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, but they like you.
I'm a piece of shit, and everybody knows it.
You're not a piece of shit. You're a piece of magic, and I love you for it.
Oh, thanks, Moose.
Subscribe to our YouTube page. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/NGR Radio Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at NGR Radio Podcast. Check out all of our stuff on ngrradio.com. And until next week, we love you.
Peace.
Banana and out.
Happy E3.